Okay, here we are again. Apologies, I just bumped the pop filter. I've done some adjustments to the audio since last time. I listened back to it and I said, yeah, you know, the music's too loud and the speaking's too quiet. So let's do something about that, and I did. So we'll see if it comes out all right, and I'll make further adjustments if needed. Now for the real question, because it is currently, what's the temperature outside? 35 degrees Fahrenheit. That is 1.5 degrees Celsius for those of you outside the US. And it's not bad in here, but like I'm at the point where I'm like, should I wear socks while I'm playing this so that my feet don't get cold? Are my feet going to be warmer by the time I'm done? I think I'm going to throw the socks on for now. And then if it gets too warm in here, despite the cold outside, I'll take them off. There we go. Add a little warmth to my feet. And now we'll just hang out and wait a little bit, and then we'll get started. Feels like it's been quite a while since we played it, honestly. And I mean, I guess it has, kind of, you know, thinking about it, because it's been since Thursday. I've finished how many term papers? 2 term papers since Friday. And one of my weekly response papers that I needed to do, because one of the classes is, it's not a hybrid class, but it has all of the assignments are due online, and they're all short answer or essay based. So almost all. There's a couple little quizzes in there, but most of them are short answer essay based. So that's probably why it feels like it's been so long, because instead of playing this, I've been doing nothing but writing term papers in the time since, and that's a shame. I mean, to be fair, I'm done with most of them now. I've got, what do I have left now? I have 2 more weekly response papers to write, and then the final exam for one of the classes. But all the other classes, the term papers themselves are done, so the only thing I have to focus on now is the exam part in class. And that shouldn't be too bad, so. But I have been busy. And let me tell you what, I would have rather have been doing this, but that's usually how it goes with these sorts of things, isn't it? I mean, absence makes the heart grow fonder, after all. I don't know that I should grow fonder of this game specifically, but I haven't played it in a while, so maybe that's why I grow fonder. I don't know, I think what I'm used to with a lot of these games when I used to play them when I was younger and had more time, I think this is the wrong file that I'm about to load up. But when I was younger and had more time to play these, I would play them for hours and hours at a time. Like, I remember when I played this game the first time, I think I played in like an almost completely unbroken 5-hour session. The very first time I played this. And that's just not feasible anymore. Like, let alone the fact that I'd be dead tired because I'd have to be talking for 5 straight hours. Like, no, that's just not going to work. But I just don't have the time for it anymore, so we'll play it when I can, and it makes me feel like I'm breaking from tradition, but hey, that's fine, right? Breaking from tradition is sometimes good, because if you get too much tradition, well, you end up like this world, where everyone does the same thing day in and day out, and their fates are sealed from the moment they're born. We'll be fixing that, won't we? How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Kingdoms of Amalur, the Reckoning, the Stream Edition. Sorry, tongue-tied today, apparently. Last time we began our adventures, we have fallen in with a sort of hybrid build at the moment. I'm working on a little bit of everything. As you can see, we have 5 in might, 2 in finesse, 2 in sorcery. And I would like to get up to 5 in everything over the next couple of levels, so that way we can work on our next destiny, which is the one above Seeker. If we go here, Wayfarer is the next one we want to work on, because that gets us that +1 to all skills, which will be very nice to have. Excuse me, it'll make all these skills go a little higher than where they were. And if I remember correctly, you can actually access the stuff that's at the advanced rank even before you're level 8 if you do this correctly. I'm not sure if I have it in my notes to do that. Speaking of my notes, let me open those while I'm thinking about them. But maybe we will. We'll get to test that perhaps by the time we're done. Let me scroll past all the response papers I've written to get back to my Kingdoms of Amalur LP notes. There we go. Oh man, because I need the notes in full the way that they were right from the beginning there, because until we go see Agarth at what was the name of that guy's place? Hang on, back up. Arden. Until we go see Agarth at Arden's place, I can't actually use either of them as a Fate Weaver to swap up my ability draw, so that way I can take some points out of things I don't need and put them into points I do need. So until that point, we are going to want to keep my notes exactly the way they were, so that way, when we do get access to their services, I can just put them in whatever I actually want, and then we can go from there. Okay, we want the local map now. So there's more formula shipments here. There's a distinct possibility that they're behind these brownies. What is this, Sword of Mana? But we'll go see if we can find them. We'll go through all the side halls and stuff, because, I mean, why the hell not, right? Like, what's the worst that could possibly happen? I get ambushed by a bunch of goblins? You think I care about what a few goblins think of me? Evidently not. Nice. That'll work. Oh, somebody got eaten by them. Sturdy kite shield compared to the one I've got. It has a weird thing going on there, but it's better than the one that I've got. So, like, there's like a gap or something there for no reason. But that's fine. Whatever. Some more healing potions and a cloudy fire shard. I'll take it. And a chest as well, and a hidden collection of rocks. There we are. Fine iron hammer. Nice, it's actually better than the strengthening hammer that I have, so let's stick that on. Only slightly, but it's better nonetheless. I think an Issa's Breath is actually a rare alchemy material, so I think we'll keep that in mind. I probably should have added it to junk. Or no, I can't add it to junk because it goes all in one spot. Right, that makes sense. Something about this wall seems suspicious, but I don't remember if it's this wall or if it's the wall over here. In order to even do anything with walls that have hidden passages in them, since that's the implication there, I think you have to have level 5 detect hidden. Which, most likely, by the time you come into this dungeon, you're not going to have. Like, you're coming into this dungeon at maybe level 2 or level 3 at the most, so having detect hidden at level 5, it pretty much requires you being level 8 or higher, unless, like I said, it works where Wayfarer actually gives you that 5th point beforehand, so. Oh, nice. Okay, I'll take it. Basic sage rivets. Ah, good. A support component that we can use for our blacksmithing. Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Sturdy buckler. It's not quite as good as the one that I've got. Like I said, I'll probably be sticking mostly with might gear for armor. It just... I don't know, I like the look of the other armors, but I don't know, I just feel like the might armor... Like, I know in our endgame build, the might armor will actually be better for us in terms of what we have access to, because we won't have access to the highest level of the other armors. But might armor we will, so... Ah, there we go. It's like, how the hell do I get around to this thing? That's how. No eel pedal for me, though. We do get a lore stone, though.
Sometimes this is too hard to believe. But you can accept the strangest fact that you were wrong. Yes, but that and this endless vacuity is horrible. The ancient ones were here. They delivered themselves into the world. The time-worn cycle turns with ages. The seasons drift along the stream. They wait for the past. The future brings the forming storm. This is no place for a hope, for anyone.
Oh, good. It just skipped subtitles there. That's just fantastic. So that's another thing we can add to the notch of why I don't even listen to these damn things when we pick them up. I kind of wish I had an excuse to actually listen to them, but I don't, so... where's my harpoon? There's my harpoon. Alright, well, I'm not going to mess with you right now. Until I take care of your archer friend. As you can see, you don't even really need to shield cancel. Shield canceling... did I explain what shield canceling is? I think I started to explain it last time, but I didn't really get fully invested in explaining it. Shield canceling is when you put your shield up in the middle of any attack that you're not committed to. And again, the only attacks that you are committed to are the ones that you do that are charged for right now. So like anything you buy on the left side of the skill tree, generally speaking, if those charge up, you're committed to that attack. Or if it's the last hit in a combo. Any of the other ones, you can put your shield up at any time to break the combo and block somebody who's attacking you. So... if you shield cancel out of a combo, you can swap between your weapons freely and just continuously whack the shit out of people. But you don't even really need to shield cancel in some cases because you can kind of just use the ending lag on the sword. Like the sword doesn't have a whole lot of ending lag frames, so you can kind of use that to get a good start on your hammer combo or whatever other slow weapon you want to use, and then when you're using the slow weapon, then shield cancel and then go back to the sword. This is the one I have, isn't it? Oh no, it's not. It's a slightly different sturdy kite shield. All right, stick that in junk. Sturdy helm. It's as good as what we've got, but it has an armor socket, but I don't have gems for that, so not worried about that. Like we said, we'll stick it in junk. Okay, we're currently at 33 items, so that's not terrible. We're working our way up. Now, let's see if I can find and snipe the archer out of the bunch of these guys here. There's the archer. Whenever you're ready, Harpoon. There you go. Sir? I mean, if you're not going to hit me, that's fine. I'll hit you instead. Guess I didn't need that. Figures. These Red Legion bandits don't have anything good on them. Other than whatever they stole from Nanny. And we're breaking that shit right now, so, you know. Oh, an easy chest. Alright, cool. Let's see what we can do about... Okay, I think that goes a little... Nope. This way, actually. Nope, maybe not. Maybe it is right here. No, it's not quite right here. Ah, there we go. You can kind of tell based on how quickly the lock comes moves from left to right, whether you're in the right spot or not. So.
These walls are grown and built lovingly. This is described. You see the lights, the mystic halls of ordered reality. They are the faces of the missing, the embodied truth of the lost souls.
I found a little extra gold in their pockets there, thanks to Detect Hidden.
They are like pathetic charades. Some with good intentions, and you can't fault them that. But the majority of them are just a hoax. Needless to say, I don't like it here.
Yeah, no kidding.
And lived a comfortable life, but you couldn't settle a disquiet.
Oh, they're still going.
Like you.
But what kind of disquiet haunts people like them? Is it the kind of disquiet that forces them to go to places where they're marginalized? Because that would not be a good kind of disquiet. That would be a very societally, well, marginalizing kind of disquiet. All right, what do we got in here? A white flake. You sent me all the way up here for a single white flake. Thanks, game. That's real helpful. All right, so we're only partially done with Nanny's mission, because we actually have to go up to the Red Legion camp up here and destroy the formula shipments here as well. And if I remember correctly, there's like a quest item or something that we can find up near there that we can use for a different quest down here. I think it's this quest with Father Dinweld. So all these quests sort of like send you into places that where they all kind of intermingle eventually. But in this particular case, it's the exception rather than the rule. Hate to say it, but... Well, come on. Where was that supposed to be going? Alright then. Sorry, pups, I'm not here to play. I'm here to get Death's Touch out of the altar of Bell End. That's me, a Bell End. But yeah, like, the game starts strong with its quest design, but I just find the further along you go in the game, the less situations like this happen, where there's just a whole bunch of stuff that intertwines in terms of the quests. Like, it's like they designed this part, and then they said, okay, cool, so let's design the ending and make sure it's good. And then by the time they were done with the ending, they were like, oh shit, we've got no time to do the rest of this. So, come here! Where's your friends there, ma'am? Did they leave you by yourself to let me loot this overturned cart? And then they would come and try to take care of me after you're already dead? Well, that's not very nice of them. They even brought frame drops with them. That's fun. Birch buckler. Nope. Not a whole lot. Yeah, I don't know. I get big vibes from this game's loot system from the same sort of idea as the Champions games that we've played, which again, I guess makes perfect sense considering the fact that that was the major inspiration here. That's where the vibes come from for me. Nothing for me, huh? Alright then. Let's see what you've got. Death Notice, Camden Wolflack. Nope. That has nothing to do with me. That is not my problem to solve, let me tell you what. It's another side quest if I remember correctly. There's a whole bunch of little side quests from notes on bodies and keys that you'll find in shops and stuff like that, but a lot of them just end up with like, okay, well, you get an item out of it. Alright, cool, but I don't really need that item, you know. Taunt somewhere else. Fight now. Who's next? Is the boggart trying to come after me here, or? Come on. Don't make me beg now. Don't leave me hanging now. Crude birch longbow. I wonder if that's better than the one that we have. Probably not, but because it's crude, but I guess I can take a look. Scout's longbow is 13. Okay, and if I find a better staff, I'm looking for better than 17. So 13 and 17. Okay, I can remember that, I think. Anyway. Grab some of this. Sturdy kite shield. Worse than the one that we have. Crude birch staff. The same as the one we have. Excuse me. Fine leather boots. Nope. Amon's key, winter, and Sigbert's journal. You can keep those. Thank you. Probably used again for some sort of a side quest that I have no intention of doing. So. Now I wonder if I should use my fate, my reckoning mode. I think if I remember correctly, there's a mini-boss among these guys here, so I'll have an excuse to use it in a minute, so. You come over here in the meantime. And I will take care of your ranged problem right now. You will pose no problem to anyone ever again. Until you respawn, because this game as enemies respawn. There we go.
The exploits of this maiden's role, a burdensome and heavy toll.
Birch frost rod. I think that's a blacksmithing component for a frost staff, if I remember correctly.
Throughout the town, they
Probably.
stood in fear of the brilliant fighter near.
Actually, I think the mini boss is the one red blip on the map over by that next crate closest to us. So if he's by himself, I probably won't need fate mode. So. Hey, Restless Reg V. That is not a person. Never mind. Not hey. You are a bot. Goodbye. Should have read the message before I read any further into the greeting. You are not welcome to the stream. Get out. God, can you imagine if somebody else walked in and that was the first thing they heard? Like, holy shit, man. Not the best first impression I could leave, that is for certain. But you cannot be merciful to bots. You must let them know that they are not welcome. Or they will continue to post in your chat. We can't have that now, can we? Another sturdy kite shield. Another junked one. Alrighty then. Let's head this way, see if we can make the most out of the rest of our blessing before we have to end there. I believe that bloodroot is used in alchemy for greater potions, if I remember correctly. Greater healing potions. So if you want to make those, I would keep that in mind. Osgar Krast, huh? Some mini-boss. Anyway. Not going to worry about him anymore. I'm going to worry about the loot that he has for me. 2 shadow prisms. I'm not even going to take those. I'm never going to use them, so, like, what do I need those for, you know? I'm just going to leave them. Almost done with the crates, though, so that's good. Scarab salts, and then Osgar Krast's blade, which you can use for another side quest. I don't remember which one. But not one that I'm planning on doing, so I'm not really worried about it. Okay, that should show up in the quest log in a minute. There it is. Iron helm. That is a light helmet, so we don't want that. Sturdy cuirass has an armor socket, but it's the same as ours to begin with. And shadow prisms. Don't care about those. Alright. In the cart, I always like to look at these overturned carts because they usually have blacksmithing materials in them. So it's not a bad idea to keep that in mind. Additionally to that, you're gonna eventually, it's probably not a bad idea, to kill a few animals, like hunt a few deer or oxen or something like that that are wild. Because if you hunt them, they actually have some halfway decent materials that you can use for blacksmithing as well. So we'll probably go hunting a little bit later when they're a little higher leveled. At the moment, they're not really that high of a level, so they don't really offer anything particularly good. At least not from what I remember. So, crude iron cuirass. Okay, so that's actually the same level as the one that I have, but it's crude. So crude, generally speaking, will always be worse than the other stuff. So. No strategy really needed with these guys. You can kind of just, like, you'll get staggered by certain attacks. Usually with bows, if you're already in the middle of attacking, the bow won't actually stagger you, but the other attacks will. Yeah, not really any big strategy with these guys. You can kind of just whack them upside the head and be done with it. I'm going to take care of these brownies while I'm over here as well, because there's another corpse that I might be able to find some loot with. I can't believe that gave me a parry. That was so early. I just can't wait until we get 5 points in each one so that way I can... Okay, that's not bad. Some cloudy stuff. Because the block moves that you get, I actually like a lot better than just the standard ones. The standard ones are doing pretty good for us at the moment, but when you get the ability to do something from block, like a different combo from block, I always found those to be much more satisfying, personally. So, some boggarts, another boggart. I'll just go take care of them, and then I'll go across, I think, because we need to go back to the village anyway to take care of the stuff with Nanny, and then get the healing potion that we need from her. If she doesn't give it to me, I will sell her my junk and then grab one. What, no get over here? You've avoided me for the last time. Drop anything useful? No. Alright, that's fine. Across we go. You'll especially notice the side quests start to fall off in this game a little bit later. Once we get out of Dalentarth. Dalentarth is actually, I think, a pretty solid zone in terms of side quests. There are a few little areas here and there that aren't very well developed, but mostly it does pretty well for itself. It's after that where things start to slow down a little bit. So, yes, thank you, Reckoning Mode. I don't need you on the screen anymore. 14 is actually better than the one we had. There's also a static longbow, which is 17, although most of that damage comes from the lightning. If you look at it, the 17 total there is actually based on all of the damage sources. So it's actually an 11 damage longbow with 3 lightning damage and 3 shocking damage over 2 seconds added on top of it. Now, does that mean that it's better? I mean, it depends. Is the enemy resistant to shock, which there's a lot of enemies in this area that are. So it might be better, it might be not. I'm going to take this one because this one's just flat physical damage, and I find that's a little bit more reliable, at least in this area. But, yeah, we'll make it work nonetheless. Ah, wild oxen. I could kill it to see what it has, but, I don't think that's strictly necessary. He's just chilling, minding his own business, so what kind of a monster would I have to be to kill him when I don't need his materials? It's when I do need his materials, that's when I need to consider it, you know. But until then, he can stay. He's fine. Alright, let's hope now I haven't waited too long to help heal this Summer Fae, because it probably won't end well with whatever group she represented. So we'll see if Nanny gives me the potion.
Beware. The Red Legion is about.
Yeah, thanks. I just knocked off a huge chunk of their number, so.
Everyone in Gorhart is talking about the attacks. They say that the Red Legion is receding back into the shadows from whence they came.
Gee, I wonder who managed that one.
It is all thanks to you. You found the formula and destroyed it. Now, you may think you understand the impact of this act, but you truly do not. You are a friend to this village and to me, Nanny Henry. Take this. It is not much, but it gives you an idea of my gratitude.
It also gives me an idea, if I remember correctly, of how to fix this next part. Sturdy robes and a couple of minor health regen potions. That's cool. Also, I need a healing potion for a Summer Fae.
I'm sure I have a vial somewhere in this cottage, but I do not have the time to search for it. I'm sorry.
Not even for a friend?
Goodbye.
Alright then. So what does that mean? That means you have to go looking for that potion that she was talking about. Is it probably down here? Most likely. Is it in a place where I'm going to have to deal with that guy watching my every move? Probably. See how he's walking around down here? Well, she's got an alchemical lab that I can work with as well, but I forget if he just patrols or if he follows you in here. No, I think he patrols because it looks like he's going upstairs. So. Ah, yeah, and so that's how you activate aggressive mode, is when you're, whatchamacallit, when you sneak, you can press up on the D-pad and that'll let you activate it, so that's cool. Let's see if she's got it in this chest. Because just looking does not count as stealing. So, well, there's the greater healing potion. I don't know why it says 0%. Like, I'm not gonna get caught if there's no one watching me do it, you know? Like, what do you think this is? All right, well, anyway. Sprite champions, huh? I'll have to keep that in mind, because I wouldn't want those guys returning to arms. That would not be good. Yeah, I thought that she gave you a greater healing potion for finishing that quest. Turns out, no. You just either steal it or you buy it from her for an exorbitant sum. That's a shame, because that sort of takes a little bit of a notch out of what I said, where it's like, yeah, all the quests are kind of interconnected here. They all allow you to do something for something else. But no, they actually don't. Whoops. Oh, well. What can you do, right? All you can do is attempt, and if it doesn't work, well, you attempted.
What is it?
Herc, I have a healing potion for you.
Made it. Just in time, too. Give me the potion. It will help, but it's not enough.
Okay, so what do we need to do to make it be
Someone must go to
enough?
the Fae and explain what happened here. One small misunderstanding and we'll no longer just be strangers to the Fae. We'll be enemies.
All right, so what can we do?
I'm not sure yet, but this is bad. She's Fae. Even worse, she's a knight in the House of Ballads. Fae don't kill their own, so it must have been someone in Gorehart.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
If the House of Ballads learns of this, the king will burn Gorehart to the ground. They see all mortals as invaders. We could go to the Warsworn and get an oath of protection, but that would require payment. We mustn't cover this up. But who do we tell?
So you actually have a choice here. You could go to the Warsworn Keep and get an oath of protection from them, and that actually leads you to the Warsworn quest line, which is primarily might focused, if I remember correctly. It's kind of like a mercenary group, a knight group, basically. But the House of Ballads is a Fae group. It's another faction that you can join. And frankly, thinking about it, considering my predicament where I've come back from the dead, the Fae come back from the dead all the time, so maybe they'll have some tips for me. So I think I'll go to the House of Ballads first.
You're turning out to be very helpful, my friend. You have my gratitude. I'll see to it that you're honored.
Ah, it's not about the honor
Says
part.
that the House of Ballads has its headquarters not far from here, in Glendara to the northeast. Try to gain entrance if you can.
All right, then. So, in Glendara, you said.
It's east of here, in the meadows of Yolvin. The Feylands are a wicked place, crawling with creatures so strange you'll assume you're dreaming.
Sure, I'll keep that in mind.
Farewell.
So hopefully the Fae will appreciate our honesty, because if not, I may have just gotten a village burned to the ground for no good reason. No, that's not going to happen. They wouldn't burn a village with a bunch of merchants in it to the ground. Actually, Data, I don't think I'm going to shop with you. I think I'm going to shop with the lady with the backpack in case I happen to have enough junk to actually offload. Excuse me. To get the backpack. I don't know if I will or I won't, but we're going to find out. Probably not, though, this early. You usually can't. And like I said, we only really need 3 backpacks. I think there's 5 across the whole game, but I'm only going to buy 3. I don't think we'll ever need more than a 100 item limit. So. Hello. All right. In here. Oh, yeah, and the enemy names, actually, it's like I said there in the tutorial on the screen there. If the enemy's names are in red, you're probably in an area that you're not a high enough level for yet, so you should probably go back and level up a little more before you do it. It generally shows you the difficulty of the enemies, and red is you're going to do next to no damage, and also they're going to kill you in 2 to 3 hits, so maybe stay away from those. Yeah, only 1,292, almost 1,300 gold for what we had, so keep that in mind, but I can actually give you this. Not this, though. This is the one I want to keep, right? Yeah. Or no, this is the one. No, it's not the one I want to keep. And that's actually worth more than the birch one, so we'll get rid of that. So those are fine. We don't need these sturdy robes because I'm not going to wear that. We don't need this anymore. But it's worse than what I have. This is worse than what I have. This is definitely worse than what I have. And now for the rest of this stuff, this consumable stuff that we don't need. Get rid of all of them. All the alchemical ingredients, because I'll never need those. These shards, by the way, if you're not planning on doing any sage crafting, these shards can be worth a pretty penny, but I wouldn't bother selling them at this moment, honestly. I feel like it's better to keep them because you never know when you'll need specific ones. I mean, I guess you could probably sell this pristine one because we can literally, once we get to a certain level of sage crafting, at the moment with just what we have on hand besides this one, we can make another pristine poison shard. We need these 2 cloudy poison shards to make another lambent, and then we combine the 2 lambents together and that'll make a pristine. But that would still mean we might need, like, let's say we need 2 pristine poison shards to make an effect on a sage crafting gem. Then we'd be out 1 pristine shard, so they're worth a little bit, but I wouldn't sell them for what they're worth because it may seem like a lot at this point, but you never know when you're going to need them later. So I would say hang on to them and just use them later. What do I need in terms of... Obviously, I need those leg plates. But in terms of armor and stuff, what else do I need? Let's see here. So that's fine. We've upgraded that. Upgraded that. That's upgraded. So really, it's just the legs now, I think. And then we've got a pretty decent set of armor on, so that's cool. Hey Marie, how you doing? Welcome back. Now you have Final Fantasy V again. The first thing you did was grind out a Dragonlance. Your masochism knows no limits. Oh, the Dragonlance. I'm glad you've got it. Congrats on that. It's just, it takes a while to get it, and I've never gotten it, so... You haven't missed too much. We took care of the rest of Nanny's shipment of goods that she wanted us to destroy so that people couldn't get their hands on her poison recipe that she had. And then after returning to her, she did not give me a greater healing potion as a reward for the side quest. And then when I asked her about it, she said, "Oh, it's somewhere in the shop, but I can't be asked to find it at the moment, so sorry." And I had to steal it from one of her drawers. So that's about it so far. We're going to buy these just to account for the last bit of stuff that I need. You know, kind of. I wonder if I should. No, the defense is so much lower. I kind of like the hoods, though, honestly. Maybe we'll equip a hood later, and then we'll look like War from the Darksiders games. I'll figure that out later. But yeah, so that's pretty much what we did. We got the potion. And then after that, what's-his-face, the guy that was investigating this whole thing, the warden, he told us to go to the House of Ballads, which is the first Fey faction of the game, and report the attack so that way they know we're attempting to fix it. So that's what we're going to do after I have Rika part with a little of her gold by giving me a little bit for those junked leg plates that I just gave her.
Come see me again.
We can't currently junk things and get materials, or at least not good materials out of them, so I'm not really concerned with doing that just yet. Later we will. Don't worry about never getting that lance. Unless you have a strat that uses it, don't even bother. Rare steel from a crystal dragon. Yeah, that's... and by the time you get it, it's like, okay, what are you going to use this on? Crystal dragon and Shinryu? I mean, I guess if you're doing the bonus dungeon, sure, then you'll have an excuse to use it because there's more dragons in there, but, like, other than that, it's like, okay. Alright, now, hold on. Alright, let's see what we've got here. So we need to go report the attack. And if we go to the map from here, we can actually see where that is. It's up here in the northwest corner of the Yolvan section of the map, which is right here. And we need to go to Arden's hut to meet with Agarth. So we'll probably go there first, then we'll go to the House of Ballads to report the attack. Because we've done a quest in Odareth now, and... I'm probably going to count the House of Ballads quests as the quest for Yolvan. I think there are other quests in there, and honestly, we might run into one of them, but I'm not sure if we'll do it, actually, so... but first things first, let's head to meet with Arden and Agarth first, because that way I can actually use Agarth or Arden for their fate-weaving services, which will allow me to take some points out from things I don't need and put them into points for things I do need. I wonder if I should go up to the church and grab that hidden treasure. I'm not sure if it'll let me go up there without what's-his-face talking to me. The guy that wants to give me a quest up here, but there is a shrine up there, too.
Greetings.
There's also a dead person? No, Sister Zelda. So she's just sleeping on the ground out here for whatever reason. Alright then. Yes, hidden treasure, you say. Yeah. Up on the map there, that treasure chest that you can see on the mini-map up in the corner, that is hidden and a treasure. It's not very hidden because my detect hidden skill is high enough to actually see the hidden treasures now. But we can't reach it because the door's closed, and we can't open the door without doing a side quest, and I don't want to, because if I was just doing all the side quests in this game, we'd be here for 350 hours, and I don't want to do that, so... Especially considering most of them are pretty repetitive, so, you know. Not really my cuppa. Ow. Oh, I actually staggered from that bow shot. That's interesting. Yes, cower in fear at the man with the giant hammer. Alright then. Star Thistle. Whatever you've got on you. Iron Greaves. They don't have an armor socket. The armor sockets are where you could stick gems if you made them before you had access to using them through blacksmithing, but I usually don't make gems until I can just socket them myself in blacksmithing, so yeah, usually not something I bother with. If we run into more Red Legion, I might actually use one of my regeneration potions. I think it'll do pretty well for us there. But you'll notice the boggarts are taking a little bit more damage now. It's because they have leveled up a little bit. I think they were level 1 over in Odareth, but once you pass across a certain point, they level up to whatever they would be in the next area. So you might also notice if you watch Harpoon over in the corner there, it actually has a cooldown timer on it. I can't use it as long as there is, as long as the cooldown's still going. But that's okay. You've got other skills, so just use those in the meantime, you know.
He is your legend of might and eminence.
Ah, there we go.
Come, listen to a tale of Issa and Od.
Take that and that, not that.
The Withering War.
More boggarts. I believe they're resistant to shock, so I wouldn't bother with that. Yeah, see, it says resisted there. It's kind of a bizarre situation, though, because the resisted hits are shown in red. And that's also what critical hits are shown in. So it's there's kind of a weird inverse going on there. It's like, oh, okay, critical hits have a big blood splotch underneath it, but these resisted hits also kind of do. So not the best feedback, if you ask me. You can't open the door because it's Julius's room. I will never let that go. Yeah, no, we can't open the door because it's the room of those Almain that have the religious protection. Well, it's a church, basically, and we can't open the door unless we do something for the church, and we have not done anything for the church, so yeah, it's not gonna work. Almost level 4? No, level 3. I was about to say 4, but that would not be quite right. So the House of Ballads is up here. And this is down here, but there's also a side quest waiting for me in the middle of the road. I guess we don't have to talk to this random stranger limping around, but...
Help me!
Sure, why not?
Two legs, please, help me! Other
Uh,
are cruel. They will not help. No! I am cursed.
I can see that you're cursed. Your mouth isn't moving, but you're still talking. What the hell kind of a curse is that?
You believe me? Many think I am just another two legs. They are wrong. I am a wolf, cursed to wear this shape by evil sprites as some cruel game.
Aha.
I still have wolf thoughts in my head, but two-leg bodies are so clumsy they can't even catch dumb meat birds.
Well, they can, but you need specialized training. And something tells me it's going to be easier to just turn you back into a wolf.
I cannot fight in this form. Will you help, two legs?
Sure, why not?
Thank you, two legs. But the task will not be easy. I need water from a magic well, guarded by the sprites that cursed me.
Uh-huh.
Be warned, the sprites have much magic, for the well they guard is older than this wood, and from that they draw their power.
And it's not even just that, it's also sprite champions that are among them, so.
The sprites guard the well, which is near the river to the north. Beware them, they have much.
This voice acting is something. Yeah, it really harkens back to like the old Oblivion voice acting, in my opinion. It's really got that amateurish feel to it sometimes. It's not necessarily bad. It almost feels like a B-movie situation in some cases, but yeah, it's interesting. Now I forget if it's this part of the quest, but I think one of these wells actually disappears if you oh, okay, he's dead. If you don't get to it quickly enough. But yeah, see how there's different colored sprites over there? There's one on fire, that one's on electricity. I guess you can kind of see the electricity crackling, and then there's one in the background that's icy. We'll get to them in a second. First, let's level up, shall we? Now, what did I want for this level up? I forget. Let's see, this is level 3. Yes, phone, please switch over. I double tapped the square, so please switch over. That's level 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I can do that. And oh yeah, those were the skills. Detect hidden 3. That's what we want. Enemies facing is displayed on the minimap. Sure, why not? I guess that's helpful. We want to take. Actually, that's probably not a bad idea. Is to take this block one. I do want to get the stuff for Seeker, or not Seeker, Wayfarer eventually, obviously. But while we're not in the process of doing that, let's just grab this. And then bow. And then is there anything here I didn't? I guess I could grab this just to work myself a little closer to it. We'll stick with Seeker because it's just pretty good to have at the moment anyway. Oh, thank you for telling me I got one new repair kit. I'm sure I'll need it. All right, now this part's a little tricky actually. I might use Reckoning on these guys. I don't remember if you can. Okay, you can do a finishing move on them. Cool. Well, we're going to use it, so. Smash the sprite in the. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, okay. You got him. You got him. You can stop now. Yeah. So sometimes it's just that easy. Honestly, sometimes it's just like, okay, well, did you save up Reckoning for this part? Yes? Okay, well, then you can kill anything that's in your path. Did you not? Well, you're probably in for a fight. But it's fine. We'll make it work either way. So, the sprites are dead, but...
Do you come to me empty-handed? What is the meaning of this?
Well, actually, I didn't see any well.
The well holds powerful magic, as old as these trees. Our elders told us its true name. Your two-legged kind might call it the well that wanders.
It wanders? Like...
Throughout the forest, it would vanish and reappear, like a wolf on hunt. But what prey it seeks.
So I need to go find it.
I was cursed. I remember. Strongly atop the water was the scent of leechwood. Perhaps the well seeks that.
Okay, so look for leechwood trees. Got it.
Leechwood? That is the two-leg name for that wood that feasts on strength. It appears through the forest. Should not be hard to find.
Especially not too hard to find, considering
The well was strong with its odor.
you can just follow the quest marker, if I remember correctly.
It must be what the well is seeking.
Alright, thanks. I'll be back once I don't think you actually have to harvest leechwood bark to do this part. I think you just go to where a leechwood tree is, and then you'll find what you're looking for. Like, you might find the well in that case. Oh good, I knocked him out of his little thing. always found it a little difficult to parry boggarts because I always end up, like, trying to attack them too early. It doesn't really work out. So we'll try to head in the direction of the well, but since it wanders, it might actually disappear before I get to it. We'll see. I forget how long it stays in any given place, but I will find out. Okay, well I have the leechwood bark, so I guess at least that turned out well. And now, as you can see, the well kind of moves around, so you have to follow the quest marker to get to it. Past these deer. To another quest giver. This is one of those games, yes. This is one of those games where they just give you an entirely too many things to do. Where's you guys' champion? Don't you need a champion to be any good at anything? Now, sprites by themselves aren't too bad to take care of. It's when a champion is present that they get a little more mean. But, you know. Well, that's going in junk. Now, do I wait for the well to reappear nearby, or do I go wandering off towards it? Because I feel like by the time I get close to this one, yeah, it's going to disappear again, so... Huh. Maybe I'll just go back this way and hope that it reappears in this direction at some point. Oh, dear. I was like, what the hell was that? The deer that were following and running away from me a minute ago. That's what that was. Before you disappear... Okay, I'm going to go up that way and probably just hang out there until it pops up over there again. Oh, did I miss something? I did. A hard chest. This one might be tricky with my low lockpicking skill, because these lockpicks will very quickly break. Unless we find the spot on our third try. But as you can see, the stuff that you get from the chest is not tiered. I could have gotten that from a novice chest, and hell, one of the rewards wasn't even worth it, so you only get 7 experience for that. That's not very good. So why would I want to bother? Well, we have the well up here. Can I harvest while I'm in combat? No. No, I pressed it too late. And too late again. And there goes the well. Well, I'm gonna wait here till the well comes back, because I don't feel like unlocking a hard chest either, but I don't feel like chasing after the damn thing across the ends of the damned earth. I think I'm gonna use one of these health regen potions though, because the effect of even just the minor ones, as you can see by the fact that we're almost at full health now and it's been like 3 seconds, those minor health regen potions are pretty good, and they've got pretty solid duration on them as well, so they will last you quite some time. I'm gonna say, where's your friend? No, I'm gonna fight this one. Sorry, pup. I'll be with you in a moment. Oh, there's our block attack. I forgot about the fact that I just bought that. That's kind of sad. My short-term memory loss might be getting worse. I'm just not used to having bought it yet, because I'm looking at my notes and I'm like, no, this is when I'm going to buy it. But, yeah, obviously, in this case, I already have it, so I should be making use of it, but I'm not. I wonder if I can run up here and make it to this well again before it disappears now. It seemed like it stayed up here for a decent amount of time. Never mind. I'll just wait then. I'm not gonna go. Like I said, I'm not gonna go running after this thing. Cause no, it's not really a good idea to go running after it. Considering, yeah, it's all the way over there. By the time I get there, it'll be already gone again. That being said, probably if I stay right there, it won't pop back up in this section. So maybe if I wander away from it a little bit, it'll pop up behind me and then I can just run straight to it. Or it might just be on a set path where it'll be over there and then it'll be back here. Here's a dispelling chest. Is this an easy one? It is an easy one. Well, I might try it out then. In a minute. Let's wait for the well first. Go discover this while we're waiting. Overgrown thicket. Another little side dungeon you can go do. Probably has a quest associated with it. I haven't found it yet. It might be one of the ones in this area or not. I'm not sure. Alright, let's give this a shot. Even with my low dispelling skill, it shouldn't be too bad. There we go. Numbing daggers. Minor frostbite and things I will not be grabbing. See, like, I got more experience for dispelling that than I got for lockpicking open that one chest. Like, that's just sad. How far away is this? We might make it! Run! I'm running after it. I said I shouldn't do this, but I'm doing it anyway. I have unlimited sprints. I might make it. And it'll be gone before I... Never mind. As the leafwood bark lands on the surface of the pool, it sinks into the swirling blackness, and suddenly all seems at peace. You take a draught of the wandering well. So now if we go back to the Einmihi, I thought that was his name, rather than the. Evidently it's his title, or just his curse. Either way. Smoldering Scepter. Well, it's better than the staff, but I don't like scepter movesets. They're kind of like bows, basically, except instead of just shooting arrows, you shoot magical bullets. And I don't know, they've never really appealed to me all that much, honestly. Ooh, we're being ambushed by somebody. Okay, Red Legion. That's fine. Got the archer at the very least. Any other archers? Okay, you're two knife bandits, that's fine. I'll just wait here. The reason why I like the block combos, by the way, you might have seen me do a couple of little block combos in there. So, like, the kick and the side swing like that are a block combo attack. It has a third hit in it as well, but once you do that third hit, you're committed, just like the third hit in the regular hammer combo. Once you do it, you're committed. But I like the block combos because they usually have utility, either because they help you to extend your combo out some more, or because they do something else in the case of the staff ones. We'll talk about the staff ones once we get access to them, but we don't have access to them yet, so... Until then, just know that the ones we have will extend our combos out quite a bit. Random Leosofar out collecting ingredients. Got dragged from this off into the distance, perhaps by that bear that's just fighting something. Alright, well, eyes on the prize here. We gotta go back to Einmihi so we can turn him back into a wolf. You know, somehow this reminds you of Mabinogi again. There's a place where a lightning sprite, a fire sprite, and an ice sprite all just hang out together. Why does everything keep coming back to Mabinogi? There's possibility of similar legends, honestly. Like, if Mabinogi has anything to do with any Gaelic folklore or anything to do with the Fae in general, it probably shares some similar lines with this game in terms of where it was inspired from, because this game takes a lot from surface level Fae folklore, anyway. I don't know if they get too in depth with it, but...
What is there, Two Legs? The scent of water. Faint, but it does not escape me. My pack shall...
Mabinogi is Celtic, it's why you almost had PTSD earlier. Yeah, Celtic and Gaelic, I think they're very in similar parts of the world, if not the same parts. I'd have to ask Amarella.
Now you may continue on your path, but with the knowledge of how to fight with the strength of a wolf.
Okay, cool. How am I gonna do that? I mean, thank you for offering that wisdom, but how am I gonna do that? Okay, so he just gave me some experience, then popped back into that and ran off. Unfortunately, this does not make the Wolves of Yolvin non-hostile. I would have liked that as a nice reward, but unfortunately that's not the case. So, you know, we're already practically there. I'm going to go to the House of Ballads first, actually, because we're already, like, right on top of it. It doesn't make sense to wander all the way down to Arden's hut when we're this close, you know. I feel like it doesn't really... It would make more sense for me to just go to where we need to go. So, Oh, there ain't no way in hell I'm looking at all those moves. I will just look at the one and then be done. Amon in spring. So that's probably related to that Amon's key that we could have gotten earlier, but I'm not a big fan of dispelling, like I said previously, so I'm just going to leave that where it is. Gorguath Tree Hollow, huh? Cool. Won't be going down into that, but I'll take the extra EXP for finding it. Thank you very much. I'll also take the EXP for finding this stone.
I was told of ancient days when wise priestess Beala Tyrion to goddess Lyria spoke.
Boggarts.
Remembering slain.
I probably shouldn't have pulled away from that one. I ended up hitting neither of them as a result. But we got full fate bar now, so that's nice. Wonder if that bear is still fighting where we left him.
Hateful, I am told, were cousins towards each other. From the cold-blessed Furial, Beala Tyrion.
Well, there's Red Legion over here, so I suppose I can take a moment to help cleanse the land of their filth. Alright then, what were they guarding? A chest. Basic infected hilt. So that's probably used to make poison longswords. And a corpse with iron gauntlets on it that are worse than the ones that I have. Cool. Well, there's a blessing over here that we can go get, and then another Red Legion camp that we can probably clear through in about 2 seconds. I might even use Reckoning mode for it, because why not? Ooh, Therden's Charge. That's one that I actually think is pretty good, if I remember correctly. Let's go see. Let's see. Yeah, plus 20% damage. That's pretty solid. Now you have to be careful though, because in this specific version of the game, not the re-reckoning version, they fixed this bug in that one, but in this specific version of the game, certain percent damage bonuses that you get from certain effects just plain out old don't work. This one I think is one of the ones that does work, but certain ones with certain prefixes just don't work when you get it on weapons and stuff, so. Are you really going to murder a random bear? No, probably not. I'd probably just leave him to his own devices. If anything, he was helping me out with the bandit population around here, so. But it looks like he's gone now. So that's unfortunate, but hey, that's how it works, I guess. I will see how you bleed before you can see how I bleed. Alright, that. Oh look, Medgar Krast. Didn't we fight a Krast just a minute ago? Well, we're going to find out how this one bleeds. No, go after the Krast guy. There we go. Sir, I'm about to send you to the great beyond. Goodbye. Didn't quite get the full experience bonus for that, but that's okay. Cotton shoes, and then Medgar Krast's blade. Like I said, I think you can turn in both of the Krast blades to somebody for a side quest, but I don't care to find out which one it is, so. We'll just leave them on their bodies. Copper talisman. Yeah, those talismans are elemental shields, so they're a little bit better if you're concerned about... Ooh, a couple of essences of fate. These are new. These are actually an alchemical ingredient that you can use to make fate potions if you're going to do alchemy. They'll allow you to increase your fate bar if you drink the potion, and then I think if I remember correctly, they're used in the highest tier potions as a 4th ingredient as well. So like the lowest level potions only need 2 ingredients, the mid-level ones need 3, and then the high-level ones need 4, and I think this is always one of them. So it's worth taking those, even if you're not planning on doing alchemy, because they're also very expensive to sell. They sell for a pretty penny, so I would take them no matter what. If I remember right, they sell for about 400 a pop, so that's not bad. That will do nicely for us. And just like that, we have not particularly struggled with that encounter. I'm trying to remember if there will be any situations where we struggle with encounters. Like, probably if I get caught off guard by, like, a multitude of really strong enemies, then yeah, but I don't really anticipate that happening for a while. Watch me get my shit pushed in immediately because I just said that. Oh, look, there's the bear. Mr. Bear, you wouldn't be opposed to sorting this out without me killing you, would you? Evidently, that's a no. I'll take care of the Boggart and Sprite first. Sorry, Mr. Bear. Didn't have to be this way, but you picked this fight, so I'm not about to back down from it. You can run away from enemies, by the way, as well. Like, the camera shifts so that it sort of centers on the enemies that you're fighting when you get into combat, but if you run far enough away from that encounter, you can actually just leave the encounter, and then you don't even have to worry about it anymore. Where the hell am I going, anyway? Oh, I'm heading up towards the Cradle of Summer. Actually, that's not the Cradle of Summer. That's a different section of the map. I think it leads into the Cradle of Summer, though, if I remember correctly. And we don't need to go there just yet. So instead of that, I'll just head this way and then jump off the cliff here. Oh, there's a champion among them. Did you see how they glowed there, those sprites? So that fire champion that's in the middle there is actually powering up the sprites around him. So ideally, we'll want to deal with him first. But, well... his friends are probably not going to make it that easy. Ow. Okay, hold the phone here. There we go. There we go. I mean, I guess if you want to just miss, that's fine. Oh, come on. Alright, then. Yeah, like I said, those health regen potions are pretty nice. Usually it's not even necessary to chug regular potions if you have health regen ones. They're, even just in minor versions, they're pretty good. And remember, that's the lowest level of health regen potion that we just chugged there. Obviously, they'll get worse the further along in the game we get, but... well, because you'll have more health, obviously, but they're still pretty good, even just like that. They're even better than what you'd get out of, like, life gems in Dark Souls 2, and life gems in Dark Souls 2 are already pretty strong. So, but yeah, I'd recommend buying those health regen potions whenever possible, if you're in a town or something. That would probably be my first priority purchase when you're in town, followed by certain other things. Okay, so this says average on it. And what that means is once you get above easy, average and higher chests have mines in them. I can actually show it, I guess, so that I can show you why you don't want to do them. We might be able to get around it without worrying about it, but... just remember, the loot you get from these things is not tiered. So you'll get some extra experience for dispelling the chest, but you won't get good loot. Called it. Yeah, there you go. Entry Odyssey 1 in a nutshell. The Origins Collection literally had to fix so many things in Entry Odyssey 1. Mostly skills that didn't work at all in the OG release, yeah. So Re-Reckoning fixed a few of the bugs in this one, but also they released a DLC for Re-Reckoning that was about as dull as watching paint dry. And I was like, I don't plan on ever doing that one, so I might as well just play the version of the game I already have, you know. Alright, let's see if we can dispel this chest despite having no dispelling skill and it having mines on it. You can actually see the mines right here on the ward screen. Those dark things with the spikes on them are the mines. So, and if you do it, you'll have your regular stuff, and then there's the mines themselves. Pressing X while the dark cursor's over a dark sigil will cause the ward to explode, and you don't want to do that. Okay, we dispelled it. Cool. Smoldering Staff. Ice and fire damage. I'd rather just have fire damage on my staff, to be honest, so I think we'll leave that. Junk that. Pristine lightning shard's nice, though. Yeah, I usually don't dispel chests because I'm too afraid of the potential curse that you can get for accidentally hitting a mine or not dispelling it properly over time. I mean, I guess it makes for a halfway interesting minigame, but not really my cuppa, you know. Alright, let's go fight these bar guests. I think if I remember right, those are a little tougher. Well, there's a bunch of them, so we'll find out just how tough in about 1 minute, because here they come. And there's another one of those Amon things. Oh, nice! Velociraptor puppies. Nice doggy? Not so nice doggy. I wanted nice doggy. Oh, he missed. Okay, good. Bye. Is it wrong that I kind of want one of these things as a pet? Or a mount? Like to ride around the land? I feel like it'd be kind of cool. Oh well. Not gonna happen anytime soon, I'll tell you what. That MMO they were planning on making in this series is not manifesting anytime soon. I heard a sprite. Where's your friend, Sprite? Or is it just you? No, it's not just you. It's this guy, too. By the way, that duck that you do when you do the block swing for the sword, you can actually dodge out of the way of certain attacks with that. It has a small amount of iframes on it. So, just keep that in mind for yourself if you're going to use it for that. I am a whirlwind of death. Alright, anyway. What does Lyria's Blessing do? I don't remember. Oh, by the way, in case anyone's wondering, hold on a second. Minus 25% mana cost. That's not bad. In case anyone's wondering, difficulty hard, by the way. This is the hardest difficulty you can play in this version of the game. So the enemies deal lots of damage on this mode, but if you understand the basic mechanics of the game, it doesn't matter what difficulty you're on, really. Alright, let's go for a dip while in armor so that it can all rust right away. I'll take that, thank you. Kind of wish there was like a hotkey I could press or something to just get down into my bathing suit, but there is not, unfortunately. This is not Final Fantasy XIV. I can't just gear shift, you know. Fine iron gauntlets. Okay. Just switch gear sets on me. There's no shortcut button for it, unfortunately. Alright, what do we got in here? Easy chest. I guess I'll unlock it. You get cursed despite not stealing the slab. Yes, you do in fact get cursed despite not stealing the slab. We suffer the curse anyway. And I can't even ask the treasure chest, "What's your offer?" I had to duck away from the mic there so I wouldn't, like, scream it in anybody's ear, but yes, I do remember that reference. Alright, up to the House of Ballads we go. Let's go see if any of these guys... Well, I'll probably just turn the quest in at first, and then we'll come back here after this to maybe see if I can ingratiate myself to any of these people so they can maybe tell me what the hell's going on with me here. Because again, if they live forever and they come back from the dead, they might have some pointers for me since I'm the first human in history to ever do that.
Proceed no farther, mortal. You are not one of our kind, and the seat of Sir Sagrel will never be occupied by one so mundane.
Sir Sagrel's seat is up for grabs?
And he must not be interrupted at this, our time of greatest need.
Okay, well I wasn't trying to interrupt, I just wanted to let you guys know that Afei's been injured in Goreheart.
No doubt you speak of Illuvia, impetuous fool. I told her to avoid your settlement, to avoid Odoroth altogether. She never listened to my warnings. I will chastise her appropriately upon her return. It is a loss, yes, but not the first unexpected event in this telling. What happened?
Well, we suspect that she was attacked by a villager, actually.
Attacked, you say? Your kind is too timid to even speak to us, and now you're trying to kill us. I do not understand it. However, your honesty is appreciated.
I'm glad, because this would have ended a lot more poorly if it wasn't appreciated.
From us, we mean them no ill will, as long as they
So don't expand the town out. Got it. Thank you. What's this contest you were talking about?
It is to fill an unoccupied seat in the House of Ballads. This is not a mortal concern. If Hallam learns I told you, he may see to it that I am banned from the telling.
Well, not to worry, man. Your secret is safe with me.
I should not be seen talking to
For now.
It isn't good for my reputation.
I know that. That's why I was leaving the conversation.
I will be here.
I didn't press X for what it's worth. Sometimes the game just does that. That's one of those little quirks that this game has where sometimes you'll ask for extra information and then the conversation will stop and then immediately start up again for no reason. I don't know why it does that, but it's there. This is one of those moments where if I was playing a Bethesda game, I would quote Todd Howard and say, it just works, but this is not a Bethesda game, so I don't know if it just works. Excuse me. I mean, the dude had a snorkel ready for his house being flooded. Also, that isn't how a snorkel works, but oh well. Yeah, well, that was Eustace who had the snorkel ready, right? So, like, Eustace has never exactly been... I mean, he has smarts, but he's never exactly been the smartest dude out there. He's just always ready for people to take his money. Alright, is Arden's hut the one that's listed on here? No, that's all the way back in Dalentarth. You know, I might actually go there because we can actually go to Shieldring Keep, which apparently... Did we? We did discover Shieldring Keep. Okay, so I can just fast travel right there and go straight to Arden's hut after we go back to Goreheart and turn this quest in. So, we'll just do that. I'm not opposed to fast traveling in this game. There's not really a quick way to get around. Like, certain games I'm a little more opposed to fast traveling in, especially Skyrim. Skyrim, to me, feels like a game where the size of the map is just large enough to make it feel like an adventure when you're wandering around. And oftentimes you're doing it on horseback, there's a whole bunch of natural beauty in the area. And camping out in Skyrim is one of those experiences where I can't remove the camping mod that I have. It's integral to the game now. I can't take it off because if I couldn't just decide, oh, it's getting dark out, and I just plop a tent down and start cooking food and getting ready to sleep and making a fire and doing all that stuff. If I couldn't do that in Skyrim, I'd be pulling a gigantic chunk of my enjoyment with the game out. And I can't see myself doing that. So.
You made it.
Herc, I talked to the House of Ballads.
You're back. I was so worried that the Fae had taken out the revenge on you. As usual, I was wrong.
You don't got to worry about that.
The Fae has recovered, thanks to your potion. In fact, she wishes to stay in the village for the next several weeks as she recovers.
Oh, okay, sure.
Will be a new community.
Probably to avoid the chastising.
And it's thanks to you. Please, take my sword and buckler. They will serve you well, as they have served me.
You sure you're not going to need them? Oh, we got an iron longsword out of him. That's cool.
Hope you stay in town.
You alright there, ma'am?
Greetings, stranger. I understand that you are to thank for my longevity. I'm in your debt. Our people have too long stood apart. Perhaps together we can change that.
I'm surprised you still hold that opinion, considering the fact that you were stabbed.
They are the greatest of us, lords and ladies of the telling. But I was never bound for glory in their ranks. I know that now. Like all Fae, I will take what I've learned from their experience and light the darkest wood. My story is their story, for the telling belongs to all of us.
It's funny that you feel that way, because not a whole lot of Fae feel that way. When they speak of the telling, they're talking about the tales that the Fae have had for millennia, that they keep basically replaying over and over again every time they die and are reborn. It's just a part of their traditions. And we'll talk a little bit more about them when we do the House of Ballads faction quests. So, because, well, when we go and ingratiate ourselves to them, we'll become a part of one of their tellings, and that has repercussions that we'll have to deal with, considering we're human and they're not. We'll worry about that in a minute. Well, not a minute, probably a couple of hours, but, you know. Sorry, man, your longsword is worse than the one that I have on my back at the moment, so we'll just stick it in junk for now. See why this didn't turn into an MMO. If this is a PS3 game, it doesn't play very well for an MMO. It's not super entertaining as it is right now. Nothing you can really do but run around, loot, and kill random mobs. The game would be abandoned within a month. Yeah, it doesn't really have a lot of draw to it, honestly. Like, they kind of give you a slightly compelling story at the very beginning, and then they sort of just plop you down in the middle of a place with a bunch of just side questy stuff to do. You can run right past a lot of it to go after the main quest stuff, but then you'll be underleveled within a couple of dungeons, so...
Come in.
You don't have to bother with, like, leveling up a lot over the course of the game, but sometimes it's nice to stop and do a little bit, just to get a little bit of extra information about the area that you're in, or just to get a little bit of extra level out of it, so. Well, we are about 4,000 gold away from purchasing the backpack, so that's unfortunate, but we can always fast travel back here to get it, so. I don't think we're gonna buy this Hardy ring. I have an idea about what rings I want to get, and the reason why I want to get them is because they're guaranteed drops from certain quests that we'll be doing. So I figure those are easier to get, because the one thing about blacksmithing is you can't actually blacksmith accessories. Again, kind of like Final Fantasy XIV, you need a different class often to blacksmith accessories. You need goldsmith or carpenter or something like that, but you can't craft accessories in any way whatsoever in this game. You can't craft necklaces and you can't craft rings. So because you can't craft either one, you're kind of just stuck with whatever you get, and the vast majority of the good ones are just random loot that you'll find out in the world with no rhyme or reason. Like, there's no way to guarantee a spawn for a lot of them, so you kind of just end up with whatever you get, and that's why I usually try to go for the ones that are more guaranteed. But we'll figure that out later. For now, let's head back to Shieldring Keep, since we are right next to the next quest we want to do, and that will also allow me to go ahead and use the Fate Weaving services. So we'll be down a little bit of money. I think it costs about 500 gold the first time. And that's fine, because after the first time, I don't think we'll need it again, unless for some reason I decide to switch my build up at the 11th hour, which I don't really anticipate doing. There's some skills that I do enjoy in this game that we won't have access to, but not really a ton that I'm already not going to be using. The build that I'm going to be using is going to focus around stunning enemies, in case anybody's wondering what the ultimate goal is here. So, oh yeah, let me equip that quest. I'm thinking, oh, it's already equipped. Okay, good. It probably automatically equipped itself when I went into the quest list there. So that's cool. I can't believe we're already almost at Reckoning mode again. I feel like I just used it. And yet here we are, already basically ready to use it again. That's nuts, dude. Okay, Arden's hut. Let's get inside and see what him and Agarth have to say about my condition. Maybe I should get a bleeding weapon. Oh. Maybe I shouldn't, considering that would be inappropriate given the fact that there's a dead guy in here.
Interesting. You're not at all what I expected to find here.
I was expecting to find a wizened old Fate Weaver as well, so I don't know that you killed him. Depends on how cold the body is. What did you expect to find?
I trailed a band of Tuatha to this place. They killed the Fate Weaver.
Great.
I was hoping his corpse would give me an idea of why they were here.
Uh-huh.
No, they were hoping to find you.
How do you know that already? I'm not going to be able to convince this lady, am I? Why didn't you save him? Did you get here too late?
If I'd interfered, the Tuatha would know I was tracking them. This Fate Weaver wasn't worth losing valuable information.
Fair enough.
But the Tuatha are still on the move. I must go. I'm certain we will see one another again, soon.
Sure.
Anyway.
She seems nice. Kind of familiar, actually. Can't put my finger on why, though. Oh, hey, Agarth. Your friend's dead.
How did this happen?
My hand slipped? No, the Tuatha killed him.
Why would they have come here?
Why kill a harmless old Fate Weaver? They couldn't know that you were headed here.
I don't know. It seemed like they did.
The stingy bastard owes me a week of drinks. Doesn't mean he deserved to be murdered.
Well, yeah.
I was hoping to avoid this, but I think I'm going to have to take you to Delok.
Where's Delok?
It's a sacred place to we Fate Weavers. Somewhere that I was hoping to avoid. I was hoping Arden could take you, but I guess it comes down to me. No reason getting anyone else killed over it.
I mean, I don't think it was your fault that this guy got murdered, but...
Once I give Arden a proper funeral.
So, before you give...
Twice now I've buried the bodies left in your wake.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix that. Before you give him a proper burial, can I ask you a question? Can you offer me fate weaving services? Thank you. Oh, it's 700 gold the first time. Wow, that's a lot. Anyway, so here's what you can do with fate weavers. It's not just Agarth, although he shows up a lot during the main story. He's one of the supporting characters for the main story, so he'll probably be the one that you go to the most if you're going to use him. There are other fate weavers across the land that you can use if he's not around, though. And basically, you can unbind your destiny, and they give you back all of your skill points and all of your ability points, so you can redistribute them however you want. In this case, I actually want to do it because they've got a couple of points and a couple of things that I don't want them in right now, so we're going to do that right away. And yeah, obviously it's going to unequip all of my stuff, all my armor, but that's okay because some of it might have a requirement on it. Excuse me, but we'll fix that, so... And successively, the more that you unbind your destiny, the more it'll cost. It doesn't show up right now, but if we tried to unbind our destiny again, it would cost a little bit more. So
I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but we're going to have to go to Delok. Maybe something there can tell me why I can't see your fate.
Well, I guess we'll find out after I change out of my prisoner's clothes that have magically respawned on me. Don't know how that happened, but we'll figure that out later. For now... Alright, let's do this how I actually wanted my levels to go. So we want Detect Hidden 2, Blacksmithing 1, Detect Hidden 3. Okay. So 2 and 3, and Blacksmithing 1. There we go. Now, we have 12 points available to spend. I need to spend at least enough to get to Seeker and 5 in Might. So let's see if I have that here. Harpoon, Longsword, Hammer, Shield... and brutal weaponry charge. Yes, that's enough. Alright, so first level that I actually want is Harpoon, Shadow Flare, Storm Bolt. That's Mark of Flame. We don't need that yet. We don't need that at all, actually. I'm going to use a staff instead of Mark of Flame, but there you go. So that's the first level. Longsword, Hammer, and Shield for level number 2. Longsword, Hammer, Shield. And actually, that was level 0 before this. So that was level 1. Level 2, we want Staff, Longbow, and Shadow Flare 2. There we go. And level 3, Brutal Weaponry Charge, Arcane Weaponry Charge, and Shadow Flare 3. So we want this one, because this is the charge attacks for Longsword, Greatsword, and Hammer. Then we want Arcane Weaponry Charge, which is this one. I really only want Arcane Weaponry Charge so that I can eventually get up to the block one, because block, when you use a staff, if you block right before it, you can use the move Mage's Vortex, and we'll get to see what that does in a little bit, but it makes staves a lot more useful in melee combat, in my opinion, so. And then we want Shadow Flare 3, right? Yeah, okay. And we're not too far off getting the next level, and at the next level we're going to actually be able to get our second tier of Destiny, which is Wayfarer. So we will work on that in a moment, but first we want this to reduce our equip requirements, then we can put all of our gear back on. None of this had a level requirement, so that's good. Put this back on. Don't need that anymore, so we can toss that out. Put that on, don't need that, toss that out. I might actually leave these open, honestly. Let's see. Put those away, put those on. And shield. 144 defense, that's not too bad, all things considered. We're working our way up pretty well. And we're not too far away from our next level either, so that should help a little bit. Okay, so he's going to meet us in Delok. Arden not Arden, Agarth is, once he gives Arden a proper burial. So we'll work on that in a minute. See if there's anything in here. Invoice and beads? No, don't think those are going to be helpful. About here. Beads and tattered documents, more junk, and a bookshelf. Famed mages. That is not a skill book. It would tell you if it was a skill book. There are skill books in this game, but that is not one of them. So, all right, so what's next? Do we go back to the House of Ballads and see about that Sir Sagril thing, or do we go to try to meet Agarth and Delek first? See, the Delek thing will take us all the way to Ettenmere, and it's likely that we won't get there for a little while, because there's actually a side quest chain that I want to do here in the Webwood that allows you to get quote-unquote player housing. It gives you basically a spot where you can store your gear that you might want later, or like any extra materials that you'll use for blacksmithing and stuff like that, so you can actually get it in this area in the Webwood. So I think we're going to work on that before we go to Ettenmere, and I guess in that case, let's head straight to the House of Ballads, and we'll go through their stuff until it takes me to Ettenmere as well, because I believe you go to Ettenmere as part of these quests, one of the first ones, so we'll just start this up, and then we'll go to Ettenmere when we've got everything kind of in that neck of the woods, and after the Webwood sequence, so. Alright, so anyway. And excuse me, Galen, I'm actually coming back to
Listen, all of you.
see about this.
As you've clearly heard, a rare vacancy has occurred in the House of Ballads. There has been an event, a great twist in the narrative of our kind. Sir Sagril has fallen. Sagril, slayer of Ozigan, defender of the crown of Haxi, has been defeated.
Haxi, huh? It's actually a region of the map that you can see right over here if the game would stop lagging. I believe Sir Sagril's entire story is in the lore stones that are over there, so if we go in that direction, we might actually hear his whole story.
A death in the House of Ballads gives an opportunity, a chance for one hero to join the ranks of the greatest champions in fey-telling. Olain, Kreth, Wenson the Bold. Do any of you have the courage to pass the confirmation? If you do, your adventures will be sung to the heavens for all eternity.
Sounds like fun. Sign me up.
Mundane don't belong in fey houses.
Well, thankfully, I am far from mundane, sir.
This does not concern you, mortal. You would not, could not understand. One of our most beloved heroes has fallen.
You know, it's curious that Sir Sagril is dead and now I'm alive.
The House of Ballads cannot remain empty, lest the great stories end. And that must never happen.
Yeah, 'cause that would uproot all of your traditions, wouldn't it? So what happened to this Sir Sagril guy?
Sir Sagril, slayer of Ozigan, lord of the morning mists, and defender of the crown of Haxi, was one of our most beloved knights. His tales have endured for generations. Several days ago, he departed to do battle with the Grave Fresh, his most famous and legendary foe.
Several days ago, huh?
But there was an event, a twist in the story. In this telling, it was the Thresh that bested Sagril.
Well, that's weird.
Such an outcome has never happened. I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, I don't think I would know either. Okay, so here's my thinking, right? So several days ago, Sir Sagril died. The Well of Souls only just created the first mortal to ever actually come back from death to life, right? What if... This is my tinfoil hat theory. What if Sir Sagril's soul was pulled in by the Well of Souls and put into a mortal body? What if my body is being inhabited by the soul of Sir Sagril, but I don't know it because I'm human? I think it's worth investigating, which is why I want to fill the seat.
You are bold, but that is not how tales are told in the House of Ballads. Only a worthy Fey hero may finish his quest, complete his story,
Okay, so do you have anybody lined up for that?
These are strange times. Magic weaves itself in new patterns and change. It is the one thing with which we Fae have no experience.
Yeah, you guys are all about the traditions,
If
so...
you so choose, join the other pledges. You too may attempt to defeat the Grave Thresh, recover Sagral's ring, and take his seat in the House of Ballads.
I will attempt not to die to make it so that your faith in me is not unjustified. Where is this Grave Thresh, anyway?
The lair of the Thresh is east of this great house, in the hollow of Gorgweth.
Ah, I know where that is.
Evenings after dark, you can hear its disturbed slumber. The cries are unsettling.
For what it's worth, the Thresh itself is also unsettling, but we'll work on that later. Do I need to know anything about the Song of Sir Sagral before I go there?
It is a popular tale, featuring the Summer Court's most treasured rogue.
Okay, maybe I'm not Sir Sagral's soul because he's a rogue and I'm not.
And dreams of women awoke to a terrible roar. The treacherous maid of Windermere, villain of the House of Ballads, was summoning forth a beast from beneath the earth. She wished to send it against Swenson himself. When the maid departed, Sagral tread into the beast's lair and killed it, only to realize that it was simply the first of many deadlier enemies. What a song.
So then he went on to kill everything else as well. Well, that's cool, I guess. That would lead to successively more and more ridiculous adventures, which usually makes the tale pretty popular. So this is the Summer Court, right?
We are the soldiers of summer, the guardians of the light of spring.
Because there is a Winter
When
Court.
our cousins in the Winter Court celebrate the darkening of the skies, we revel in the dawn. However, our cycle is changing. Everyone has noticed the fires on the sea, the monsters in the east, and the whispers on the lips. The Summer Court is in decline.
And what do you know about the Court of Winter? They're the Fae in the East that everybody talks about, right?
For many seasons, the Court of Winter ruled alongside us as allies. There is no spring without the cool decay of autumn, no bright summer without the snow.
Right.
Yet, even as our power wanes, theirs is mysteriously on the rise. Surely, you have felt it.
I'm wondering if maybe they're siphoning your power to make theirs greater. I don't know how that would be possible because your magic is completely different, isn't it? But anyway.
Go now, and make the song your own.
I will attempt to, thank you. So yeah, a whole bunch of the initiates are going to head off.
I wish you the best, mortal.
Thanks, Galen. Galen? Whatever his name is. Probably Galen, because Galen is what's falling from these waterfalls right now, not the name of a fae. But yeah, I always found the stories of the House of Ballads to be one of the more interesting stories in the background of this game. Like, the Warsworn are kind of just a mercenary group. There's a rogue version and then a mage version as well. But the House of Ballads and their Winter Court counterparts in the East that we'll talk about later. It's not just the Tuatha off in the East. There are other Winter Courts. The Tuatha have kind of split off as a separate court of their own, but there is a regular old Winter Court in the East. But I always found their stories to be a little more interesting, which is why I try to do their quests when I'm playing the game, if I have the patience to actually go do them. I wasn't sure on the first episode if I would have the patience to go do them, but I think, honestly, the story of at least the House of Ballads would be interesting to play through because your character's trying to kind of figure this stuff out, and the pieces would fit if Sir Sagral's soul took a mortal body, you know. At least, in my opinion, it would fit. I guess we'll find out. Ooh, that ability that they're talking about there from the sorcery tree that allows you to summon a minion, that's actually a really solid ability. If you're going to be a primarily sorcery-focused person, I would recommend definitely looking that one up, which is, if we go in here, it's on tier 3, unfortunately, so it takes 20 points into sorcery to get there, so you need to be at least level 6, because you'd have 18 plus the 3 you get at the beginning, so that's 21. Yeah, you need to be at least level 6 before you can get this fair, Gorda, but... Excuse me, it's basically a summonable skeleton, and he's around for 2 minutes, and he'll draw aggro and whack enemies upside the head while you stand back and cast your spells. So he gets pretty good, too, because on top of summoning him, you can also give him the chance to siphon health from your enemies to you, and increase the number of attacks that he has in his attack chain, eventually to the point where he can hit 7 times, and each hit has an 100% chance to give you health back. Now, you have to level this above the maximum level of 5 in order to get that 100% chance, but you can't do that without getting gear that increases that. We'll talk about that later. We don't have access to that right now, but it's a possibility. We'll discuss it later on, though.
Sir Sagril was a clever rogue of great and merry cheer. Oh, come and listen to the song of he who had no fear, of he who we hold dear.
Well, the initiates are down there, and the game just auto-saved, so I probably could be fine if I didn't auto-save. Or rather, if I didn't hard-save, but I think I'm going to hard-save anyway. Just to be safe. Alright, there we go. And we'll level up shortly, so that'll help out as well. Probably from one of the lore stones or something.
Dustling, you have no role in Fey telling. This story belongs to one of us. Not some whelp fresh from the cradle.
Well, that's alright. Doesn't have to be a competition.
Now this. What is it you want here in Gorgoath?
Experience and money. And also, hey, think about it this way. If I help you guys figure this whole thing out, one of you might become the hero easier, so you might want my help.
Alas, Sagril's is a twisted tale, and we could use every available hand. You may stay, but the seat will never be filled by a mortal. Of that I am certain.
That's okay. I might learn some more things out of you guys. It'll be like an olive branch between our kind and yours.
But all is not lost.
Okay.
If we can destroy the roots before they take hold, we can rouse the beast. Come, I'll keep the thresh occupied while you seek out the heart vines.
Alright, so go find these heart vines. Got it. Who is this strange maiden you're talking about?
She approached each of us who is vying for an empty seat in the House of Ballads, sometimes in the forest, sometimes in the plains. Each time she offered reward beyond our imagining. All she asked in return was that we infiltrate the house as her agent. Needless to say, none accepted.
You sure that's not like the Maid of Windermere or something? Because isn't that the lady that you guys need to worry about? She's like your primary antagonist?
The thresh slumbers in its lair, a protective shell formed of vines of the hollow. We must weaken the nest, keep new shoots from taking root.
So blow up the vines, got it.
Keep your eyes open.
So the way to the thresh is blocked, as you can see there, by deep magics. So we're going to want to follow the other pledges around the map in order to find the other vines. They'll probably kill a few of the boggarts and brownies on the way. I'm just going to go left, because when in doubt, why not, right? Oh, I guess Pledge Phycon's going to come with us. Alright, that's cool. So he'll keep everything else at bay while we do this other stuff. Oh. Did that pledge really just get killed by a bunch of boggarts? What the hell, man? That being said, Pledge Phycon is a pretty solid mage counterpart to you. He'll actually do pretty good for himself in combat, and he lets you see how Fey mages actually work in battle before you have to fight them yourself. You will eventually have to fight them, so just keep that in mind. Alright, cool. And just like that, we're ready to level up. Let's see if we can grab what the boggarts dropped first. Oh, soft Scrabble powder. Great. Well, this pledge didn't even have a name or a chest plate by the look of it, so I don't know how effective he was planning on being in combat, but it wasn't really going to work out for him, that's for sure. Alright, let's level up then, since we're at that point. Next level. This is the level where you get access to Wayfarer. We want Staff 2, Stormbolt 2, and Longbow 2. And what was the other one we want? Blacksmithing? Blacksmithing 2. Okay. Blacksmithing 2 will let us use 3 components when crafting equipment, so we'll keep that in mind for when we craft again. Staff 2. And we wanted Stormbolt 2 as well, right? Yes. And then Longbow 2. And that unlocks tier 2 of the sorcery tree. Longbow 2, that'll unlock tier 2 of the finesse tree. And we'll be investing quite a bit into both of those trees along with the might tree very shortly. But for now, we can only access that stuff. And we get access to our next level, which is Wayfarer. We only needed 4 in each one to get this, actually, but fair enough. The main draw of Wayfarer, as I said previously, is not just the extra damage that you get, but also the fact that it gives you +1 to all of your skills. So if we look at our skills now, there we go. We have at least a 1 in everything now, and it boosts up the ones we've already got quite a bit. So now we can salvage infrequent equipment, we can disarm traps, and that's going to become even more prevalent the further along we go here, because traps are going to start becoming part of the dungeons pretty soon. We have a little bit less difficulty when lockpicking, so that's nice, I guess. A little bit of better mercantile costs. A little persuasion. A little stealth. A little sage crafting. A little dispelling. A little alchemy. We can get an unstable potion out of our effects there, but I'm not really worried about that. So, why are my gloves off? I don't know, but let's re-equip them, because I could definitely use them. And yeah, so now that we've done that, we can start working on the 3rd tier, which is Adventurer. We're going to need a few levels before we get to Adventurer, though. That being said, at the next level, we'll gain access to our block skills again. So we don't have access to them right now, so we're back to not using those until we get to level 5. But I'm okay with that. We'll figure that part out later. Okay, going to bed early, just not feeling it tonight. Have fun unmaking enemies in this game. I have a full fate bar, so I will attempt to, Marie. In the meantime, get some sleep. We'll see you on the next one, which will be on Wednesday. So there you go. Alright, so we'll just circle around, it looks like. Mostly boggarts and brownies, and they're all weak to fire, so that should make this a little easier to deal with. And it looks like this is what we're looking for. Pull Heartvine. Okay, well, that's one part. I think the Thresh is down there. And that's that enemy that we can see on the map down there, so. I kind of want to fight the Thresh on equal ground, like without using my whatchamacallit. But, Boggart Plaguebearer, these guys are a little stronger than the other ones. And they can inflict poison on you, which is unfortunate because that means I'm getting whacked upside the head. No, you come back here. But yeah, they can poison you. They hit a little harder than the regular boggarts, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. I might use a health regen potion in the next room. Which way am I going? Okay, so that leads to boggarts in a hidden chest. This way leads to more boggarts. We might as well clear the place out while we're here, you know. I mean, who knows if we're gonna get the chance to come back, so. Nope, you can keep your shadow prism, thank you very much. I don't need that, so. Alright, before they start attacking me, let's have a health potion. Guess I shouldn't have bought those block skills, because now I'm used to having them, and I didn't think about the fact that I would press the buttons and they're not going to do anything. Oh well. A white flake, yeah, that's real great. Okay, so we go back down and then we go this way. So it looks like there's another heart vine there. Another heart vine there. Probably we're going to have to go back to the beginning of the dungeon in order to get to that 3rd heart vine, but we'll figure that part out in a minute. First, let's head back down here. Or up here, as it were. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to fight the Thresh on equal ground. Can I really not? So that's below me. So I really can't get access to that without going this way, huh? Okay, well that's fair enough, I guess. Maybe I'll come round to it eventually. Okay, there goes the Heartbind. There's more enemies down there now, so that's just fantastic. What we got in this room? Whole bunch of brownies? Okay. You know, that might be behind the boss room, actually, because that looks like it might be on the same topography as the boss room, which is where the all those plague bearers are. So I think it would be better, actually, to save Fate mode for that, because that's going to be a lot to deal with otherwise. Okay. Longsword and hammer still coming in pretty clutch. Pile of rocks. Fine birch longbow. Well, it's 17. It's probably better than the one I've got. I think the one I've got was a crude one. Let's find out. It was a regular birch one, so fine birch will be better, yes. I think that exit button, by the way, actually takes you back to the title screen. It's not like exit menu, it's like exit game. So I wouldn't recommend pressing that unless you're sure about what you're doing. Student's boots. No, thank you. Minor force potion. I'm probably going to stick that in junk as well, because honestly, I don't think we'll ever need to have additional physical damage. Like, we already kill things so quickly in this game that I don't feel like it's ever... I don't need the game to be even easier than it already is, you know what I mean? So I think we'll just not on that. Alright, that's all the hard finds. The Grave Thresh should be down in that direction there. Yep, that's what it is, right down there. We'll fix that guy's wagon in just a moment once we get there. After I take care of this poor brownie that I'm about to absolutely murder. Because he was standing off on his own. I think he sees someone else because he's back to floating. Yep, he sees somebody else. Harpoon has a nice short cooldown on it as well, so it's usually like my go-to when it comes to taking care of enemies for right now. But, you know. Whoa. That flung you off in a random direction. Alright then.
Watch yourself, mortal.
I'm keeping an eye on myself, but thank you for your concern. Okay, I'll take the extra gold. There's a chest over here. It doesn't look like it's locked, but I don't know. Maybe these use keys? No, no key in sight for this one. Crude iron helm. Our first Fey Blades. Cool. Spin to win with these. Not a big fan of Fey Blades. I guess I can show the moveset a little bit before I go back to these. They're cool looking. They give you these, like, almost like tonfas, basically. Well, tonfas are more, they reach down to your elbows. These attach at your knuckles, and you attack enemies with them like knuckles. But on top of that, you spin with them in your hand. And they do lots of little hits, so they're not particularly strong on single hits, but they will deal pretty decent damage overall. It's just, they're not the strongest weapons out there. They're rogue weapons, so they're primarily used by, well, thieves and stuff like that. Or, in this case, Fey, because they're Fey Blades, so. I think if I remember right, the ultimate rewards for this set of side quests with the House of Ballads is a set of Fey Blades, but we'll probably just use those as a resource for our ever-increasing wallet. I probably shouldn't just be letting them whack me upside the head here. I'm playing poorly because I don't have to play well, you know what I mean? Alright, but yeah, we'll save the, don't need those. Scout's longsword. Doesn't have the burning damage. Fire damage in the early game is actually really good. It does really well against a lot of the enemies in Dale and Tarth, so I would recommend hanging on to some fire damage at the very least. It will make your life a little easier. Where in the holy high hell does this lead? Another one of these things.
2 times he drank his weight in wine, and many lovers pleased. And
Jesus Christ.
such idle pleasures, with lethargy was seized, on beds of grass he eased.
Not a whole lot going on down here except the sky blossom that we can't get. Alright, fair enough. Don't know why you'd stick a whole friggin' side path there for 1 alchemy reagent, but sure, why not? Okay, grave thresh time. Fancy face statue. So probably in my best interest to save up here before we get involved with the Thresh, because it's a new enemy type, and even with Reckoning mode, it might be a little tricky to deal with. I'm probably not going to use Reckoning mode right away. I think I'll wait until I've taken its HP down just a little bit before I do that. We'll see. I'll probably use another one of those health regen potions, though, just because it's pretty good. Okay, the Thresh is alive and ready to go. Apparently one of the pledges is still alive as well, so that's fun. Grave Thresh, he's in orange. He's also on me. That's fun. There's also Boggart Plague Bearers to deal with, so we'll worry about them in a minute, or rather right now, because they're letting me kill them, so I might as well take advantage while the Thresh is dealing with everybody else. That's on me now or not. Oh god. Yeah, get the hell away from those. We don't want your arrows, Mr. Thresh. If I hit you, are you gonna automatically? No, you're not gonna automatically be on me, but yeah. Oh, nice shotgun blast. Did a little bit of damage to him as well. I think now would be a good time to activate Reckoning mode. Alright, nice drop kick. Have some of this. And then one more. Goodbye. That's one of the nice things about Reckoning mode is that it... Yeah, no, pretty good actually. Worked out pretty well. You get a unique kill animation for each different type of enemy that you kill in Reckoning mode, so I guess I can at least give them credit where it's due in that department. That's pretty nice. Oh, and I got my health regen potion back. Nice. That's helpful. I mean, it came at the cost of that initiate's life, pledge's life, but hey, you know, sometimes that happens, I guess. Alright, Plague Bearer. What we got in here? Oh, our first chakrams as well. Nice. So chakrams are, sorcery weapons. And they're throwing weapons, but they're melee weapons at the same time. They have magical damage on them, but you throw them at a distance. It's a pretty good distance as well. They also have some of the longest end lag on their ending combo move out of any weapon in the game, even more, I find, than hammers. So you have to be careful of that if that's what you're going to use them for. I'm not really a big fan of them, to be honest. I feel like they're cooler in theory than they are in practice. Their charge attack and their block attack isn't too bad, if I remember correctly. But I think they get a lot better if you're really focusing specifically on the sorcery tree, because then you can get all their like parry attacks and dodge attacks and everything like that, and those usually are a little bit better than just the stuff you get for charge and block. So when I'm not investing heavily into any given skill tree, I kind of have to be like, okay, which weapons do I like the charge skill and the block skill the best for? And typically that's hammers and stabs, so that's usually where my focus ends up being.
A
sudden sound and fearsome roar awoke our hero from his rest. The Maid of Windermere had called the grave thresh from its nest to have at her behest.
But why did she need a grave thresh at her behest? Just to kill somebody. The Maid of Windermere is not particularly complicated. That's the impression I get from this. Ooh, basic sharpening handle. Extra crit damage. That's nice. Scalding longsword is exactly what we just made. So I might equip it, honestly, just because we're running a little bit low on durability on the old sword that we just, well, created. So why not, use a sword that's basically exactly the same. It has higher durability. Fey Blades of Song. So these are kind of nice if you're planning on using Fey Blades. They're a good starting weapon for this house. Gives you extra health, extra physical damage, although I think that one doesn't work, and 10% chance to stun, which the chance to stun is nice, but I'm probably going to just stick those in my junk. However, the Ballad's Signet Ring is one of those that has a plus 5% damage that does work. The damage resistance also works. And because you get this one just from doing this first quest without really having to do anything, this is actually one of my quote-unquote end-game rings. It's one of the ones I can get for guaranteed without having to worry about just finding it in random loot. So if I don't get a better ring than this one will do. Like, I'm fine with this just being a ring that I keep on every time,
How can this be? Sir Sagrel dead? I do not understand. Such a tragedy has never occurred in this song. Not in all the seasons of the telling. At the end of this ballad, Sagrel defeats the grave thresh. He is victorious. I don't know how, but someone has changed the song of Sir Sagrel.
How is that possible?
We are not alone. I do not like this.
Defeat the threshes, plural? What if I don't want to defeat threshes, plural? What if I just want one thresh? Oh god. If you see them doing the arrow attacks, just block. It's a little easier than trying to do anything else. The nice thing, though, is that Pledge Fightcon should take the aggro of one of the threshes, at least, for you, so you can focus on this one. Yourself. That being said, that one didn't really pose much of a problem, so, there's that. Fine Iron Chakrams, stick that in junk. Fine Iron Helm, stick that in junk. And now let's go help Pledge Fightcon take care of his thing. Glowing Leggings. I guess it gives you extra mana regen, but if you don't have a lot of mana regen to begin with, well, that could be a bit of a problem. No, couldn't. Oh. Well, I don't think the Pledge is going to be helping me too much anymore. Alright, Boggart Plaguebearer, you stay the hell away from me. Okay, I'm probably gonna need another potion. That's okay though. Definitely gonna need it at the rate that I'm going here. There we go. Alright, he's bedding down for the night. The thresh. Trying not to bait out the Boggart Plaguebearer's attack while I'm trying to deal with the Thresh's attacks. No, you don't start that now. I got something else for you. So all the pledges are dead. Well, that's just great. Numbing Longbow. Ice damage, that's okay. I got my health regen potion back again. How about that? Isn't that nice? Okay, Plaguebearer had something for me. I think the other thresh that was over here had something, but I don't remember if I took it. I might have. I did. Alright, so there's a couple of little offshoots here, so I guess we'll just go to each offshoot and kill the Plaguebearers that are left, because why not, right? You can block that one pretty early and still get away with it, so as you can see there. Yeah, as long as you don't commit to that last hit, you can generally get away with killing the enemies without them ever leaving their staggered state if they're not like gigantic enemies like threshes or trolls or something like that. If you just go 1, 2, 3 with the sword, then 1, 2 with the hammer, then 1, 2, 3 with the sword again, they usually can't break out of it unless they're in the process of doing something else, like the whatchamacallit, like the Thresh was doing there, where it would do its... Like, certain large enemies basically have hyper armor until certain points. Usually after they do one of their big signature attacks, that's when they become more vulnerable to being staggered and stun locked. So...
Sir Sackville approached the spirit deep within Gorgoroth. He slashed its wicked stock and root, safe from behind its wrath, slyly from a side path.
Oops. Well, that's not going to work. That one. As you can see, if you block the guy, you won't actually get poisoned by any of his attacks there. See? So that's helpful. If you're worried about getting poisoned, just block, put the shield up. Even if you don't get the parry, blocking in this game is really strong. Like, it will help you significantly with dealing with... Usually damage over time effects are completely nullified if you block the attack, even if you don't parry it. So... Now, obviously, you'll have to keep getting your shield better and better in the process, because otherwise you won't block all the damage, but... Nah, you can usually find a better shield as you go. It's usually not too much of a problem. So. Nice. Shadow Flare is not really particularly useful at this point. It will gain greater use with larger enemies. You may have seen me shotgun blast one of the Threshes previously. That will continue to be an effective strategy against a lot of the larger enemies in this game. Threshes are included in that, but there are others as well. So, now we have to go just back out the front. Oh my god, look at all these boggarts that have just taken over the place since we killed the Threshes. They're not a big fan, evidently. Well, that's fine. I've got a serving of pain for them. I'll just have to dole it out evenly. By the time we're done in this place, we're already going to be back to full-on fate again. Oh my god. It gets way too much. There's way too much ability to use fate in this game. It's a very, very strong ability, and I feel like there needs to be more limitations to it than what there are currently, because what we have currently does not really make it something that's not particularly strong. It's too strong, is what I'm saying, basically. Gloves of Enchantment. 3% chance to critical hit with magic. Well, it's rare gear, so it'll sell for a little bit. So that at least is good. Now the question, do I want to go and kill all the boggarts that are in here? This is going in there. That's going in there because the Scout's longbow is better. I could also use some repair kits on the gear that I have here in order to make it a little bit better, like in terms of its condition. So maybe I'll think about that when we get a little further down. You could also just go to a repair person in the town and do the same thing, so... Yeah, to say, no, go after the guy that you're already whacking there. Oh, look, another minor health regen potion. How about that? I'll go kill these last boggarts over here, just in case. You never know, because you might get enough experience from killing them, plus killing the, or not killing, but turning in the quest to actually, like, get a level up. I don't think there's an additional attack, though. With... Wait, how the hell do I get in there? Maybe there's a hidden door that takes me down there. Because I don't think they can get up here. Yeah, there's probably a hidden door that'll let me get into that place, and that's got a treasure chest and stuff, but Whatever. Couple of enemies and a chest I'm not really too worried about. I was going to say maybe I'll use my fate meter on them, but I don't think there's actually a reckoning kill if you use it on boggarts. I don't think they get killed by like a context kill, like with the sprites and with everything else we've used fate on. So it's a shame because usually they're in large numbers, so you'd probably get a pretty decent chunk of experience out of it. But oh well. Alright, back to the house. Oh, I missed the lore stone over here. Don't know how that happened. I must have just run straight past it. Well, take it up now.
I don't know what to do. Why go to a Fate Weaver? Why? Sometimes I don't feel this way. Sometimes it's reassuring. But not right now. Not when it's so close. I still think it's a blessing. Talking to that Fate Weaver means I can make good on the time I have left. But how can I tell my family? It's like erasing the smiles from their faces, or like killing the joy in their hearts. Why would I do that? So I don't feel guilty about deceiving them? Isn't that just selfish? Is it completely selfish to not tell them, so I don't have to see them upset? But facing this alone, truly, truly alone, I can't do it.
Well, maybe if you share what the hell it is that you're facing alone, we can figure that out. But unfortunately, you didn't share, so what am I supposed to do about it now? So you think that the Fae in here will be pissed if I sell those Fae blades that Sir Sagril had that are purple and therefore the most rare items in the game, and therefore also sell for huge chunks? Thanks, I did. By the way, I think there's a Fate Weaver in here, so if you didn't want to go visit Agarth, you could just go, talk to the Fate Weaver in here, and they'll undo your fate. So you can get your points stocked as well. Oh, okay, I need the Ballad Signet Ring in order to unlock this door anyway. Cool. So yeah, you couldn't get in here unless you had Sir Sagril's ring. And probably Hallam the White is going to be a little bit
the mortal
weirded out by this.
And you, a child of dust, has defeated the grave fresh.
And two other ones while I was at it.
Claim for yourself, my friend.
I'm glad we're friends
you
now.
Granted the seat of Sir Sagril and all privileges hereto, including membership in the Court of Enchantments.
That's very generous of you.
Alas, there is no time for celebration. There has been another incident. The king has asked for you.
Oh. What's the incident?
One similar to the plight of Sagril, I dare say. Another erratic chain of events. The Ballad of Bloody Bones has taken an unexpected turn. The great Sir Ferrara has been sent to face this new challenge, but he will need your assistance. That is how the song is sung.
Okay, so Sir Sagril helps the Sir Ferrara then, right? So what happens in this ballad?
Sir Ferrara tracks the villain Bloody Bones to his lair and rescues the fair maiden, sacrificing himself in the process. This is Ferrara's most selfless act, to give up his own glory for the good of another. It has always been this way, and must be preserved for all seasons.
Okay, fair enough. So go help him with his sacrifice? Sure, I mean, obviously that's why he needs me, so sure, I'll go.
Excellent. Speak with King Wenson in the oratory. It stands on the crest of Ettenmere, where it once hosted the lords and ladies of the High Court.
Yeah, see, Ettenmere? That should sound familiar.
You will need it to revive Sir Ferrara. Unless mortals have suddenly created a method of resurrection. It's our only option.
Yeah, that'd be something, wouldn't it?
Use it. Now go, find King Wenson. The telling is in your hands now.
I will try not to disappoint. You said the oratory is in Ettenmere.
The court of enchantments has marched south to face the threat and to quell rumors. They reside in the House Oratory in Ettenmere.
All right, then. That's where I'll go.
Off with you.
After I level up and do a whole bunch of other stuff, because Ettenmere is also where Into the Light is taking us at Delic. So the Ballad of Bloody Bones is at the House Oratory, which is slightly southeast, I think, of where Delic is. We'll look on the map in a minute. But first, let's do our level up in a second once I go through all this stuff. Those resurrection potions, unfortunately, don't work like Phoenix Downs. They won't revive you if you die. So don't die. Unless you've saved recently. Alright, let's see here. What are we working on here? Oh yeah, we can get our block stuff now. We want Detect Hidden 4, so I can see if Detect Hidden 5 is just given to me. It is just given to me, even though I'm not level 8. So now we can see secret doors on the mini-map, so maybe it's worth it to go back to Gorguath and Agnar Farhall to find those hidden doors, since those are the two dungeons we've gone to, and both have had a hidden door in them. And we can see them now, so maybe I'll think about that one. Alright, and at this level, we're going to get our fourth and final spell, and we're going to work on those block skills. But after this, there's a couple of abilities that I'd like to start investing in that will help us passively for a little while. But our fourth and final spell that we're going to get is Frost Trap. It's fun. It's ice damage, freezing damage over 2 seconds. You set it down in front of you, basically. The enemies can walk over it, and then they damage it themselves with it. However, it has not really a hidden tech with Harpoon, but basically if the enemies are small enough, you can set a frost trap down while they're still far away from you, and then you can harpoon them, pull them into the trap, and the trap will explode and deal damage to them. So we're going to kind of use Harpoon and Frost Trap in tandem, and that's why it's going to be a kind of an important thing for us to be working on leveling up Frost Trap so that way we can maximize the damage we get out of it. Alright, but we're back to getting the block skills right here. If you have a greatsword at this point, which I don't know if you would, but maybe if you went through Warsworn Quest at this point, you might have access to a greatsword. You could start working on greatsword mastery here. Quake is an okay spell. It you cast it 3 times. Each time it costs 14 mana at the moment. It's alright. I mean, if you're just going in the Might Tree, it's probably the only, like, non-physical spell that you're going to get in this tree. Right? Well, no, I guess you get Warcry. And no, Wrath is part of Quake, basically. But yeah, so this and Warcry are your main non-physical attacking spells that you get. And then there's Hardy Constitution, which is one of the passive skills I was talking about before. It gives you extra health and elemental resistance with every one of its levels. It has 6 levels. We'll be leveling that up once per level for the next 6 levels after this, but we're not going to do that just yet. However, the main draw of why I've been talking about all this is to tell you to absolutely, absolutely not take Adrenaline Surge. Because what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to increase your HP and increase your damage once every 5 minutes when your health falls below 25%. However, there is a glitch where instead of restoring 20% of your health, it actually drains 20% of your health. It still gives you the damage boost, from what I understand, for 10 seconds, but if your health is at or below 20%, like if it goes down to 20% or lower, when this skill procs, it'll just kill you. So I would not recommend ever purchasing this. It's never worth it. And the skill that you get above it, the passive, increases your chance to crit while Adrenaline Surge is in effect, but since it'll never be in effect without killing you, or almost killing you, I wouldn't recommend ever doing anything with it. As for the Finesse Tree, you get Draw Power. This increases your arrows. That's what we're going to work on in a little bit. Once we max out Frost Trap and Shadow Flare, we'll work on that. And then the Sorcery Tree, we want to get this so we can use Mage's Vortex. Here's your Chakra Mastery if you want it. Sphere of Protection gives you some passive damage resistance, but it's like there's a skill like this in Tier 2 here as well, Envenomed Edge, which gives you poison damage, some poison damage on your weapons, a chance to inflict poison damage on your weapons, but it has a sustained cost. So what that means is as long as it is in effect you'll be down 25% of your mana normally. Sphere of Protection is similar, except I believe it's 30% of your mana. Yeah. So it'll give you just some passive damage resistance to all damaging sources, but you'll lose 30% of your mana as long as it's active. So, and then there's Mark of Flame. It's a pretty good skill. It deals pretty solid amount of fire damage, and right about now, fire damage is at a premium. Fire damage is very strong in this first section of the game. So this is a pretty good spell to have, but I'm probably not going to use it. We'll just use Stabs instead and use Mage's Vortex if we need fire damage. Conservative Casting is another one, though, that we're going to work on getting because, like Hardy Constitution, it just gives you a nice passive effect. In this case, it reduces your casting cost by 10%, and there's 5 levels on it, so we'll just get those once per level for the next 5 levels after this one. Where we get Mage's Vortex. And so by the time those 5 levels are done, we'll have the next tier of our Destiny Adventurer. And I think we'll get that at rank 4 of Conservative Casting. So then once we get all those passives all the way to the top, then we can work on other stuff. But in the meantime, while we're getting those passives up, I'm going to focus on maxing out Shadow Flare because that's 2 points, and Frost Trap because that's 3 more points. So by the time we're done maxing those out, we'll be done with Conservative Casting, and we'll just have 1 left on Hardy Constitution. So those are our next couple of levels, basically, I'll take care of. We have access to Disciple and Guardian now, and also Duelist, I guess. So that's cool, but not really my cup of tea. I'll keep Wayfarer. So you just hit square to confirm if you want to keep whatever destiny you have normally. So, meet King Wenson. Alright, so we can check this on the map now. Go to the world map, and as you can see, in Ettenmere, there's the Ballad's Oratory, and Delek is over there. So we can go there, or we can go there, but on our way, we have to pass through the Webwood. So let's go to the Webwood first, shall we? And actually, before we do any of that, I'm going to go back to Gorhart, because that's going to kind of be my place to sell stuff until I have enough to purchase the backpack. Once we purchase the backpack, we can kind of leave Gorhart behind. Though I might come back at certain points, because even though you get player housing in the Webwood, the town itself is... it's only okay, in my opinion. It's not like it doesn't feel cozy, you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like a good player base of operations. Gorhart feels more like a base of operations to me, even though we haven't done all the quests here. Okay, so this way. I might go repair my gear as well, depending on how this all goes. We'll see. Now that we're level 5, I'd recommend, by the way, being about level 5 before you head to Ettenmere itself. So if you're planning on not doing what I'm going to do in the Webwood, now would be a good time to head off to Ettenmere and take care of business, because the enemies there are a little tricky if you're not about level 5. So, alright, nice. Got a whole bunch of money. Those Feyblades of Song came in handy, because look at that, they're worth 6,824 gold by themselves. So you know what that means? That means that we can go ahead and purchase the backpack, which now is actually only sold for 6,900 gold. Nice. And the reason for that is because our mercantile skill went up when we, when we got the second Destiny, and it gave us +1 to all of our skills, so that's nice. But now we have an 80 inventory limit, so that's good. How many of these do I have already anyway? It doesn't say here. So let's go take a look. These are fine. Ah, and the Essence of Fates even sell for more than I thought, probably because of the extra, the extra mercantile skill that we have, so I'll sell those too. While we're at it, might as well sell all the extra alchemy ingredients. They're not worth much on their own, but they're worth a little bit when you stick them all together. So, a whole bunch of pristine stuff, some cloudy stuff. I'll hold on to all this stuff. Although I'm not sure if I really want... Yeah, I'm not going to need a frost rod because I'm not going to make a staff that's frost. And I'm probably not going to make a sword that's poison either. I think we'll get rid of those. Keep the rest of this stuff though, because it might come in handy. Okay, I've got 13 lockpicks. Let's buy up to 20. And we'll just hang on to that for the remainder. Any staves that you've got here? Regular old birch staff. It's better than the one that I have, 21. Yeah, it's only worth 474. I might as well grab it while I'm here. There's also an electric birch staff. You want to make sure you're careful of which staff you're getting, by the way. You'll always be able to tell what element the staves and scepters and chakrams have because the background will change depending on the element. So like this birch scepter's fire, this one's ice, this staff is lightning. Here's a great sword, so I guess you could grab that if you want it. And here's another one. Anything interesting here? Oh, not really. Alright then. So I think that's about it. Yeah, that's about it.
Come see me again.
So, we have a regular birch staff. We'll stick the crude one away. And we'll go from there. Alright, cool. And I think, so just sell the one that we just stuck away there, and then we'll go from there. Not worth a whole lot, but hey.
Goodbye.
It's fine. Alright, so we're done in Gorhart. I don't think we'll need to come back unless I decide I want to do a whole bunch more in terms of buying and selling. I might go buy from Nanny, though. See, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not a big fan of Gorhart, is because it doesn't have all of the goods and services that I would want. The main thing that I would want that this place doesn't have is blacksmithing materials. I don't think there's a shop for that. There is a blacksmith shop, but there's like shops where you can actually purchase reagents that you can use in blacksmithing in other towns, and this one doesn't have it, so I would rather go to a town where that is the case, and I don't remember if the town in the Webwood takes care of that either, honestly. But I guess we'll see in a little bit once we go there.
Come in my shop anytime, and please enjoy a discount on all services and merchandise.
I am not sure how much of a discount that actually is, to be honest, because I'm not sure if you're actually bullshitting me or not about that. The one thing I would want to look for here... Oh, okay. Well, that might be nice. Is I might want to look and see if there's any experience boosters. Usually those are near the top, though, so probably not. The reason why you want experience boosters is because you can actually stack those with the extra experience that you get from using Reckoning mode. So what you'll want to do is if you're fighting against a boss or something and they have minions and you kill the boss in Reckoning mode, before you kill the boss itself, you're going to want to use your experience booster, then get the context kill because it stacks with the experience that you can boost by getting the context kill. And then you can just get a massive amount of experience right there, so then that'll make it even easier for you to get to the level you want to be, which in my case is 28. So, but now that we're here, let's buy some of these health regen potions. I'll probably buy up to a total of 10, which I think means 2 more. Let's see. Yeah, so we have a total of 10 now, because that's the whole stack right there. And I think that'll be good. I think if we stay at about 10 at any given time, I think we'll be okay. Like, I don't see myself needing more than 10 at any given time unless I'm really struggling, in which case I might want to go back to a town. But usually by the time I get to the point where I'm struggling, it's like, okay, well, we've done a dungeon, so we're going to go back to town, sell our loot, so we'll buy more potions, you know. And I believe the shopkeepers restock once every 2 or 3 days. I forget exactly how long, but about that long, I think. Okay, so the enemies are back here in Odareth. Before we deal with that, let's go see if I can see that hidden door in Agnar Farhall. And if I can, and there's enemies here, like if there's enemies here, we'll just kill them, but if we can see the hidden door while we're in here, that'd be great, because then we can go back to Gorguath, and we can see the hidden door there as well. And then, well, from now on, any hidden doors that are in any of the areas that we go to, we can just see. And we can remove the loot from them, so that we won't have to worry about it going forward, basically, is the point. I don't actually know if there is a hidden door in here, though, but I guess it can't hurt to go explore, right? Like, why not? I know there's a hidden door in Gorguath, though, because, well, there was that section with the Boggart Plague Bearers where there was no way for me to actually get to them. So that means there's got to be a hidden door somewhere. Now, the real question is, do I actually get the... Let me look at the skills and see if I actually get the effect of this. I might not get the effect of this because it says you have to be at least level 8 in order to get access to this. So, let me do this. I don't know if we can fast travel to Gorguath from here. Yeah, I didn't think so. Because I think it should show up on the map, right? If I... Oh, hang on, let me get this. There we go. If I look at the skills and I read them correctly... Yeah, secret doors are displayed on the mini-map and are revealed if you go near them. So you don't have to go near them for them to be revealed. So it might not actually show up until... Oh, okay. Thought that was a treasure chest. They might not actually show up until level 8. So that's fine. You know, retroactively, if we have to go back to these places, I'll probably forget. But, well, maybe I won't. You never know. We'll see. Apparently, I don't know if this was an actual decision they made on purpose or not, but apparently the people that made this game forgot to introduce some form of stamina meter to prevent me from just sprinting forever, but whatever. You know, I guess it makes it easier for you to walk all the way across the land. All right, just to double check, let's head to Gorguath, and we will attempt to see if that hidden door is showing up on the map in here, because there may not have been a hidden door in Agnar Farhall, but we'll find out. I know there should be one in here anyway. By the way, the summer court is... They use different terminology. Oh, it is showing up. Okay, so there's 2 hidden doors. Wow. All right, well, let's go see if we can find them both. So those do show up even if you're not at level 8. That's interesting. I didn't know that. But now we know. Again, one of the reasons why I like doing stuff in these older games that I end up playing is because I end up being able to test things that I wouldn't have known otherwise. You know, and this is one of those cases where I can just test things that I wouldn't have known. So it's the shadow prisms, yeah, that I left here. All right, 2 hidden doors. Yeah, the terminology that they use for the Fae it differs depending on the situation. They might use the Seelie Fae to describe that. I believe the Summer Fae are considered the Seelie Fae, and the Winter Court are considered the Unseelie Fae. So, open sesame. A hidden passage. Well, how about that? No extra experience for doing that, but keep that in mind because there are a lot of other hidden passages in different areas that will be worth our time to look for. It's also a whatchamacallit, a place to swim here apparently. Alright, that's fine. Just block you guys while you come running after me. Okay, see, I committed there. That was the problem, right? Because I hit that last swing of the block attack that you do when you use the longsword. The one that I got at this most recent level. And because I committed to the attack, I ended up actually screwing myself there, since committing to the attack caused me to not be able to block the boggart that was coming in to attack me. So, like I said, you got to be careful when you commit to an attack. You want to make sure the enemies aren't too close to you, because if they are too close to you, well, problems will arise. So, okay, chest there, chest here. Then we'll go for the other hidden door and see where that one leads. Again, I still can't believe we're already at our next use of Reckoning mode. It just feels like it fills up so fast. By the way, if you're not really interested in the idea of doing any blacksmithing, not to worry. There is some armor that you can actually get if you're interested in doing the same build as I am, but you're not interested in blacksmithing. And it's as a result of upgrading your Detect Hidden skill. I'll show where those pieces of armor are, because I think I'm going to pick them up no matter what anyway. If I remember correctly, they sell for a decent amount at the very least, but they might be better than some of the armor I have available to me at the moment. But it's basically a set of 5 pieces of armor that are considered, technically speaking, to be their own matching set. They don't really match, if you ask me, but they're considered a quote-unquote armor set in the game's files, so, and on the game's wiki page. Because you find them all from very similar means, through hidden passages that can only be found via the Detect Hidden skill. So we'll keep that in mind. I will enter these doors. I gotta come up with something else to say when these things open besides Open Sesame. Gonna have to keep Open Sesame in mind though, because I'm gonna have to remember that it's not Open Sesame. Specifically for a different game, where knowing how to spell Open Sesame is required to proceed. So that's why we fought those 2 Thresh then.
2 times he swore an oath. I'll leave your wretched corpses here, and he battled them both amidst the undergrowth. And that morn, a figure emerged, alone and single fay. He sauntered past the gathered crowd and turned to them to say, I think I'll rest today.
Sorry, I didn't hear the last part because, as we've said previously, the dialogue in this game is excessively not high in volume, and the subtitles were struggling to keep up, so... Alright, but we're done in Gorguath. So, did I leave anything in this chest? Yeah, a shadow prism. I should know better than to check any chests that I've already looted, because I would have taken all the good stuff out of them anyway. Oh well. But now that we're done in Gorguath, let's head down to the Webwood. We'll go back to Arden's hut, and then we'll head straight that way. We'll try to get to town, and we'll see what's going on there. We've got about 20 minutes, 25, before I call it a day, and then we'll move right along. Excuse me. And actually, I'm in great shape because I mentioned at the beginning of the stream that I was doing... I'd finished up a bunch of term papers over this weekend, and it turns out, because of the low attendance rates of a lot of the classes, at least from Friday, a good chunk of my professors have actually canceled all their classes for this week. Now, I was only going to have class today and tomorrow anyway, but... they basically said, no, we're not going to show up, because why show up when we have 3 days off right after, and there's going to be like 5 people here. So they decided, no, we're just going to cancel classes on this day. And as a result of that, I don't actually have to go back to class until next Monday. So for all I care, I could probably play this some more this week. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do, though, when I... get to the point where, oh, you know, I should probably check what my file sizes are looking like with the autosave on, because it might be worth it to turn it off. I don't want the file sizes to get too large. I'll figure that out off screen. But yeah, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with myself once I get to winter break. I'm going to have like 6 weeks of just unbridled time to do whatever the hell I want, and that's kind of a lot of time. So we might end up going up on... I don't know if we'll go up on stream amounts. I'll probably find something else to do. Worst comes to worst, I'll find some more. I actually have a book for one of my classes that I'm going to be taking next semester because it's an introduction to nutrition class, and I wanted to be prepared for it before I committed to it. And I haven't finished reading it yet, so I may actually do that over the course of the winter break and get myself some good... Whoa, big spiders! Get myself some good experience with nutrition. Okay, this spider is too large for me to do anything with outside of venom spitters as well. So there's giant spiders, and you have to break out of their stuff by... Okay, you know, these guys can just not give me a chance to attack at all. Oh my god, I'm dying. I'm dying, help me. Hold on. I'll use the health regen potion, why not? Just double up on these guys. Ouch, ouch. I guess I'll just wait. That almost ended poorly for me. These venom spitters can be harpooned, though, so... Didn't really make good use of Frost Trap there, but I'll keep that in mind.
Somebody finally came. Tell us, are you from Gorehart or Dyden Hill? How many warriors travel with you?
I came from Gorehart, but...
Assistance we requested, but don't think me ungrateful. I could... Ganarak could use someone of your particular skill.
I don't know, I barely fought those spiders off. Are you sure I have the skill for whatever you need? What's going on here, anyway?
We sit on the border to Webwood. Most of us silk farmers. Normally, we rely on our bridges and an ancient Summerfey aura to guard us.
Let me guess, that's not working anymore.
What defenses we have are failing. These monstrous spiders strike at us from all sides. They've even gotten as far as Yolvan. A week ago, a team of hunters was led by the village's chief defender, Barton. We need someone to go find him and his party.
And you want me to do that? I mean, I guess it gives me something to do to make sure I'm prepared for Delic in the ossuary?
Good. I have more information to give you regarding Barton and the hunting party. But let's not give anyone false hope. And these townsfolk are growing hysterical. Meet me on the southern bridge and we'll continue our discussion.
Okay, fair enough.
The spiders have had an uneasy existence on the edge of Webwood.
You know, when they do this with the folks being... Like, it's cool that they're trying to make emotes with these normally emoteless NPCs here, but when their eyes bug out like that because they're scared of something, it just looks off to me.
Good hunting.
Yeah, well, good hunting indeed, because I'm going to need it where we're going. What do you got in here? Oh, I got my health regen potion back. I get the feeling that's going to be a recurring trend. I'm just going to find them randomly strewn about. Another hidden something over here on the opposite side of this. Oh, okay. I thought I could just go through that part and get to where I was going. I was wrong. Can I go through here? No. Okay, I'll go around. The house that we're looking for, though, if I remember correctly, is Gossamer End. And unfortunately, we can't do anything with it just yet, but if we go through this whole quest line, maybe that will change. But first, let's grab whatever's in here. Okay, I know crude birch longbow would be worse than what I've got. Basic expansive lining. Oh, experience bonus. That's nice. Don't really need the experience bonus too badly, but hey, you know, I'll take every little bit that I can get, so. Alright, so tell me more about this rescue mission you need me to go do.
For leadership, and I'm more than happy to give it to them. However, if Barton returns, that all evaporates.
Uh-huh.
Let me put it this way. It is for the best that he is dead. Do you understand?
The best for the townsfolk or the best for you?
He's a stubborn and superstitious fool. He'd have the entire town chasing shadows instead of harvesting riches.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. I'm not sure this is a line of thought that I'd like to entertain, actually.
It would do you well to befriend me. So long as I hold sway in Canarok, I can pay very well for your loyalty.
I can pay you very well by
I
killing
understand
you.
Your initial reservations. I don't need you to accept immediately. Just think about it. When the time comes, I have faith you will come round.
You're a very trusting individual for someone who just told me effectively your entire plan for preventing the town from being safe. Why should I kill this Barton guy exactly?
What are you talking about? I merely asked you to find Barton within Webwood. Or what's left of him.
You don't need to hide it, man. I already know.
Has need of me. I'm a very important man, you know.
I'm sure you are.
Good hunting.
I don't think I can kill this guy. He reminds me too much of Canthar to make me not want to kill him, but I'm not sure if I can, because I think since he's a member of this quest chain, I'm not sure if I can kill him just yet. Like, since he's the quest giver, I'm pretty sure he's considered invincible until that's over with. Not 100% sure about that, but you never know. Anyway, Canarok's the town. And that we can get some player housing in, but before we do that, we got to go find Barton. So maybe he'll be feeling generous if I decide not to end him because some random guy said he'd pay me very well for doing so. Oh, good. The brownies are getting into trouble with the venom spitters. Well, we can take care of that problem right away. Okay, fine. I'll just walk up on you. Wow, it didn't do the second hit there. Interesting. Oh. What do you got? Minor precision. Junk. A lot of these potions probably aren't junk, but... nah. Not things that I particularly care about either, you know. Spider sack. Shoes of the anti-venin. Poison resistance, that's not terrible. But it's mage armor, so that's not really my cuppa. So which way would be the quickest way to get to where I'm going here? This way leads to a silk farmer remains? Okay, sure. And then find Barton is also this way. So I guess we'll go this way, since it's probably the quickest way. I think if I remember correctly, there's a whole bunch of different Silk Farmer remains around the Webwood, and I think it's like just a tiny little side quest that you can do to like give them a proper burial or something. I guess we'll find out because we're heading in that direction. These look like the bones of a silk farmer that died at the hands of some spiders. I should see if I can give them a respectful burial somewhere in the nearby town of Canarok. So, silk farmer remains. There's a whole bunch of them strewn all over the Webwood. And you could go find them all at once right now if you want to, but if I remember correctly, we go to all these parts of the Webwood. As a matter of fact, one of them is actually pretty close to Hakshi instead. So since we're already near the Barton objective, we'll go do that, and then as we do the other side quests around the Webwood, I think if I remember correctly, we'll end up going pretty close to all the other Silk Farmer remains, and so then we'll have a reason to actually go and do those. Do the little resting place burial thing. Excuse me. Well, there's a spider sack here with some healing potions in it, but no spiders to be found. That's concerning. Usually this is the part where they jump out and try to murder me, but apparently not.
It is not good to have a darkened summer, so I made a night. Oh, they said, to Yolvin you should look, so I found Cathris. Oh, they said, you have no food, so I brought water.
Ah, they're there.
Oh, they said, you have no homes.
I wonder if I can reckoning mode spiders. I don't remember. I guess we'll find out. Yep, you can. Probably not venom spitters, though. Yep. Is that everything? Yep. Alright, Mr. Spider. Have some of this! Not really a great use of Reckoning, but, well, you never know. Oh, minor health regen potion. Fine copper talisman. Junk. I guess I could, you know, eventually decide, oh, you know, maybe it'd be worth it to actually equip a talisman, but probably not now. Oh, that's the other thing about dispelling, is that if you press the button off of any of the marks that you have there, the notches, it resets all of them. So that's one thing to keep in mind. You can't just mash X and expect to be fine. It doesn't work that way. Just keep that in mind. Alright, Shade River Caves. Let's go see if we can find this Barton fella. And then we'll see if he's a little bit more pleasant than his counterpart who wants to be a very important man in Canarok, whom we may just end up helping to oust if we keep this up. Any hidden doors in here? I can't see them if they're here right now, so we'll worry about that later. For now, let's worry about finding Barton, and then we can worry about treasure. Ugh. Looks like the spiders have already gotten a head start on me here. Well, that's unfortunate, but we'll see what we can do. You picked the wrong house to spring up from. Alright, what else have we got? Probably should set a frost trap down before I do that anymore. Okay. You're still alive. So it takes a little bit of frames to set the frost trap. Got it. And now I'm just playing poorly. Ha! Alright, well, first frost trap worked out pretty well. Didn't even use it the normal way I did it. Ah, our first Prismeer lockpick as well. So what you can use these for, basically, is if there's a lock that, like a chest, that you're like, okay, well, my lockpicking skill isn't that great. You can use Prismeer lockpicks to open them at an 100% rate. So usually I just use those for hard chests, just because I can't be asked to do the lockpicking minigame too many times. So. But it depends. Like I said, the loot that you get from those chests isn't tiered, so it's whether or not you get anything good out of them is entirely dependent on luck, basically. So sometimes the Prismeer lockpicks are worth it, and sometimes they're not. Just sort of depends on how you feel. Alright, before you guys get going crazy on me here. Ouch. The nice thing about frost traps as well is that they also slow the enemies down while they're taking ice damage, which is pretty nice, actually. It lets you, because they're slowed down, it actually causes them to, well, attack slower. It makes it a little easier to block them. Although sometimes I have trouble when they're slower, because then it's like, oh, okay, well, now I'm trying to block them at the time I would normally block them, but they're slower, so I don't block them at the same time, you know? So sometimes it's nice and sometimes it's not, but generally speaking, slower enemies are easier to deal with, especially if you're trying to crowd control amongst them. I shouldn't have said that while they were spitting poison. Get that shotgun blast out, though. The spiders here, generally speaking, are wide enough for you to be able to use Shadow Flare to pretty good effect, so just keep that in mind. Decaying Longsword, there's your poison damage. It is better than the one that I have, but also it doesn't have fire damage on it, so I'll keep it, but I won't use it yet. How about that? We can junk that and then go from there. Alright, so we can hop down here. I guess I might as well keep going this way since I'm already going this way, you know? Doesn't make sense to not, you know? Oh, I can just slice these open with a longsword that's on fire. Interesting, I didn't realize that. You'd think I would, considering, or at least I'd remember it, considering I've had longswords like this in the past. That's a crude steel longsword. That's actually the next tier of longsword over the iron ones that we've had so far. So I might take this one and not junk it, because I might be able to get some good blacksmithing materials out of it. Like, if I manage to get the steel hilt from it, it'll actually let me make my own steel longsword, so... Oh god. Okay. Hey, that actually worked out. Oh, and you can also dodge out of the way of any attacks that happen when you're not committed. So just keep that in mind as well. Probably gonna need another health potion. Okay, well that's not a hidden passage, so we can't exactly get rid of that. Okay, so that's a jump point that brings us back down here from up there. Okay, so we're gonna want to go around so that way we can get to our good friend Barton, who's probably being lambasted by spiders, if I know any better. I'll just use one of these minor health potions. We've got a bunch of them that we just got from other stuff that we looted, so... Oh look, there's the health regen potion I would have just used. Got it back, even though I didn't use it. Speaking of Barton getting lambasted by spiders... We'll plop this bad boy down. Come along now. Oh god. Alright. Looks like you commit from that second hit on the locked hit for the hammer. Or maybe you guys just have hyper armor, which I guess is possible. What happened? Did you get Barton? Nope, there he is again. Alright, got him. Sweet. Some cotton hand wraps to add to my jonk. And this guy. Nice armor, dude.
Stay back. Wait. A fellow Varani. By the widow's mercy. Who sent you? Have you word from Canarok?
I have word, but I don't know if Canarok wants you back. I was sent to find your party, though.
I'm the only one left. My men and I were ambushed when we entered the cave. It's as if the damn spiders set a trap for us.
Spiders usually aren't that intelligent.
Using strategy, tactics, simple ones, but enough to overwhelm us. I think someone is leading them.
And who could lead the
All over
spiders?
the cave. Footprints, torn webs. No body. Could be the Bloody Widow for all I know, but Canarok needs to be told.
Who's the Bloody Widow, exactly? By the way, the gentleman that sent me to find you definitely wants you dead.
That damn... This whole suicide mission was his idea. Now he tries to have me killed?
Yeah, that's about right.
I need to tell Canarok what has happened here, and deal with Garina. I have to hurry. Speak with me after we reach Canarok.
Alright then, fair enough.
Speak with me, please.
Will do once I get there. You probably got to get out of here too, so I'll let you leave. I'll leave after you, and then we'll meet back up over there. Oh, mana regen potion. I should stick that in my radial, actually. Just because it's worthwhile to do. You know, technically speaking, I could disassemble the decaying longsword and get the crude steel one instead. The poison isn't really going to help us for a little while, so I think I'm just going to get rid of it, honestly. Let's see. Now, here's how it works, right? Is that in your potions and everything, you can stack a total of 10 in one inventory slot. Then after that, any more, I just bumped the pop filter again, my bad, any more and they'll take up a new inventory slot. So just keep that in mind, because sometimes it's actually more convenient not to carry as many, because then you'll reduce your item inventory limit. So as you can see there, it went down to 37 once I used that one. So probably I would say just keep a stack of 10. That usually does enough to get you by. Excuse me, but yeah, that's it inside this cave. So now we can head back to Canarok, and I think we'll do that, and then we'll call it a day after that. Boots of Fire Shield. There's a minor experience booster as well. Nice. We're grabbing all the stuff that I wanted to grab here. So we'll map that to the radial as well, so we can use this the next time we do anything fancy-dancy in the in that there Reckoning mode. I think that's probably everything for the radial, though. I don't really, unless I decide to get, like, the one that boosts physical damage, I don't really see myself using anything else on the radial itself. So, yeah, that's fine. You know, it takes care of business for us. Now, that being said, the radial will eventually become less and less useful the more and more blacksmithing materials and gems that we get, because eventually we'll get access to a reagent of blacksmithing called a sustaining material. Anything with the sustaining prefix in it is going to give you health regen. And I forget what the one is for mana regen, but health regen is the big one. You get a little bit of passive mana regen anyway, but health regen you get almost none. So I think it's like 0.1 HP per second or something like that is your passive health regen in this game. So because it's so low, you're going to want to look for stuff that gives you a little bit more of it. And usually what that results in is you getting the sustaining stuff and then using those as blacksmithing materials in order to make better gear that has better health regen. And eventually you'll end up with so much health regen you won't really need potions very much anymore unless you're in a pickle, but ideally by that point we won't get into a pickle. However, the pickle that Canarok is in right now is pretty acute, and they could probably use our help. And to be fair, we could use the experience and the passive area to store our junk in between now and, you know, when we head off to Delok and the... Is it the ossuary or oculary? Hold on, I can see here. Oratory. I keep getting the words confused. Oh well, hopefully we won't be as confused on the next episode of Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, the stream edition, which will be happening on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate you coming out to Twitch and YouTube to check out the stream. And I'll see all of you on the next one, which, as I said, will be on Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, everybody take care, and have a good one. A tangled web indeed. There is a lot currently potentially going on, and I'm just one man. How am I supposed to handle all this bullshit? Well, one step at a time usually works pretty well, and that is how we're going to take it, one step at a time. Though I'm pretty sure at this point if I walked more than 3 steps out of here, the spiders would just start attacking me. So I'm just going to stay right here until Wednesday. How about that?